Where the pros play. KZDC San Antonio.
The big game is finally here, and you can follow all the action at betonline.net. Tampa is currently a 5-point underdog. Kansas City is looking for back-to-back titles. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger back at the mothership playing in traffic. Got a lot of fun coming your direction today on what could be, well, it's a pivotal day either way. I don't know how we're gonna get through the day without some tears, but I imagine there might be a few shed as it appears you Texan fans are in for a long and interesting off-season as Deshaun Watson wants to leave and David Culley becomes the new head football coach of your Houston Texans. And that is why this is such a crazy day, because it is trumping. It is the first card you throw on a day like this over the Spurs in a reckless and dangerous way take down the Boston Celtics. And what was can we rest assured that the next time the Spurs gather together and practice in some form, that they do some fast break drills? Sure. That could have been a blowout. That could have been a whole lot of fun. We made it interesting, and thank you, DeMar DeRozan, yet again, for being the man that you are. Well, what a great basketball game that was last night. I had more fun watching that game than I think I have in a while.
The final 2 minutes of that game were insane. I thought the thing was over when DeJounte had the steal and the dunk, and nope. I mean, there was still some drama there. You know, we talked about yesterday on the show the Spurs doing so good with turnovers and Devin Vassell making NBA history. Then, of course, he goes out and turns out 20 turnovers and you win a game against Boston. This is a team that has beaten the Celtics. They've beaten the Lakers. They've beaten the Clippers, and they've lost to the G League Rockets. They've lost to the that's what it is. But again, that's overshadowed today. And on behalf of all in the sports media business, those that cover the NFL, I would like to personally thank Cal McNair and Jack Easterby for giving us something to talk about in this week between the conference championship games and the Super Bowl. You know, because there's 2 weeks there, and none of us wanted to spend 2 weeks talking about Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady. And the Houston Texans have done all of us in the sports media world for giving us plenty of content that isn't around Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. In fact, it is so bad, and I think James Pledger, while it might be a typo, it is absolutely right. The Tires hire first minority head coach in franchise history. That's what Pledge wrote on our Facebook Live feed. And I know, whether it's a typo or not, but because this organization feels like a bunch of burning tires right now out in the field.
Poor James. A tired Natalie in what looks good. I mean, it's fine looking fan apparel. I'm not sure that the number 4 will. And the thing is, Deshaun, how do you expect the Houston fandom? Is there hatred toward Deshaun at all? Does anybody look at Deshaun and go, well, you're jumping off this sinking ship. Thanks. We'll see you later. Make sure when you reach the shore, you call the Coast Guard and come save us because it's not looking any better. Do we have any anger toward Deshaun given the situation that he's in?
I think right now, no, because we've got a guy to point our arrows at, and his name is Jack Easterby, even though we don't know why. And you've got Cal McNair. This hiring, this trying to make sense out of nonsense. But I know we've talked about it, and as ridiculous as it sounds, if Deshaun Watson wants out no matter what, the best thing you can do is get rid of Deshaun Watson and get as much as you can for him. In the meantime, hire a lame duck head coach. So let's find a 65-year-old and give him his retirement money and let him, be the bridge to nowhere while we develop these young picks. Because with the way the Texans sit right now, are they going to be good while Deshaun Watson is still under contract? And if their evaluation was, we can't get this fixed in the next couple of years, so we're going to lose with Deshaun Watson this year, as great as he was, we still won 4 games. And if their self-evaluation says we're not going to be much better in the next couple of years, so we might as well trade this guy and give him what he wants, That's the only thing that makes sense, as stupid as that sounds. If that's their MO, let's go hire a coach that nobody's going to want, hire a GM that's going to piss everybody off, and keep putting Jack Easterby out there to take all the bullets and give him, several $1 million a year for taking all those bullets.
There's so many issues with what happened today. I think, you can find some justification for it. We're curious what you guys think. The Kielbasa Bacon phone lines will be open all day long. You can unbear your soul. You can vent if you'd like, or you can laugh, or maybe you can find some justification in what the Texans appear to be about to do, and that is to trade Deshaun Watson. Who'd have thunk? And, we haven't even begun to talk about, there's a new head football coach of your Houston Texans. His name is David Culley, a longtime NFL vet, some quarter century of experience, though never actually been a coordinator, been a position coach, did some receivers work and some quarterback work with the likes of Josh Allen and Freddie. I'd like to thank my hands, Mitchell. So there's there is a lineage there, but I've got to tell you, man, I had David Culley ranked just ahead of Josh McCown in the possible coaching hierarchy coming down the list. And when I saw that this morning, when I woke up this morning, I had the same reaction that everybody else did, and it involved a curse word. I could not believe that it got to this. And the fact is, it got to this a long time ago. It just took a while to get here. You know what I mean? This was obviously the plan.
Well, and again, I don't know if it was really Leslie Frazier or this guy. I mean, clearly the Eric Bieniemy situation, they didn't put him on the list initially, and again, when the finalists, there were 7 openings. When the finalists for your job weren't interviewed by any of the other teams that were opening, that should be a little bit of a red flag. Nobody else wants him, but man, this guy's going to be good. And everybody likes him. He's really, really nice. And I get that. I know Pledge called me last night about 9:30, and I told James Pledger last night, I need you to text me every 15 minutes as proof of life. Because the idea of where Texans fans are. I've heard from Texans fans today, friends of mine that I didn't even know were Texans fans. Other guys like Cleto Rodriguez or Mike McLeod that just need to vent. So we will do that. The dump button's working, although try to contain yourself, although it's hard to talk about what the Texans have done without using some adjectives that would get us fined by the FCC.
John McClain of the Chronicle, Houston Chronicle, will be with us at 5:15 for his weekly. Perfect timing, as usual, the poet laureate of Texas sports writers. I wonder how John feels about this situation, because I'm not sure if he feels like he was led astray or misinformed by his sources, or I'm not sure where he sits today with the Houston Texans. I'm sure he's not happy. No one would be happy given the situation. But I wonder, as a guy who writes for this organization, does he feel that this was transparent?
It's going to be interesting because we can only go with our sources. And I'm never going to question John McClain's sources.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And that's not what I'm doing as I say this. But, John McClain was pretty adamant a couple of weeks ago about some certain things that were going to happen. And none of those things have happened. Now, that's not on John McClain. That's John McClain taking, his knowledge and his sources going, well, this is what I'm hearing. And, now granted, with a new general manager coming in, maybe who knows? But I mean, John McClain has not been right every step of the way on this story. Normally he is. He was right when it came down to David Culley over the last 2 days. He was going to be the guy. And people in Houston and Texans fans losing their mind.
Well, and to John's defense as well, I mean, he said from the very beginning, the coaching hire will be a minority. There was no hesitation in that, and that turned out to be true. So you do get the feeling he was plugged in. You just wonder how much his plug was willing to give him. He'll join us at just a little after 5:15, as he always does. Grilling with the Blitz happens again today, 6 o'clock. You got a little bit of time left, though. We already have a favorite coming around the clubhouse turn. If you want to give or win a $50 gift card, if you took any pictures of what you grilled this week.
Careful.
Almost went Mets GM on that one. And if you took any pictures of the things that you grilled, feel free to upload them at espnsa.com. Give us a little description, and you too could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market. RJ Ochoa, we believe, will be in the batter's box when we come back. We have him normally for our Thursday, though we haven't spoken with him, so we'll chastise him greatly for that if we do get a chance to have him join us. So when we come back, we're continuing to look at the Texans. The early words were right. What's the plan to follow as quarterbacks are on this carousel? Where do the Texans go? We'll talk about it here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at espnsa.com.
You know, as Little League seasons are about to get started, your beer league softball seasons, you need your uniforms done. You know, there's one place in San Antonio to get them, and that is Sammy's Embroidery Club over there on San Pedro. Whether it's Little League soccer, baseball, softball, like I mentioned, beer league softball, you need those team uniforms done. Get them done locally, especially if through the years you've gotten them from someplace overseas. Shipping delays, you don't want to deal with that. Get them done locally over at Sammy's Embroidery Club. If you need masks, if you need your logo on any gear, Sammy's Embroidery Club is the place to go. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Medical, restaurant, service industry, camo gear, safety gear. Sammy has it all. Nobody has better prices. He has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or go visit that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items come with a warranty, and you work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now, 210-824-3900, 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Sundays are for the grill. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 in the morning to 1. Chop it up and grill with former and current Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 to 1 every Sunday.
My name is Sue. I'm 58 and I work with kindergartners. I've been overweight all my life. Over the years, my weight led to high cholesterol, joint pain, and body aches. Getting up and down with kids was hard. I couldn't sit on the floor without finding something to help me up. Once I got up, hip pain would prevent me from walking normally. I had heard the Institute for Functional Health commercials for a long time and thought, maybe this will help me. I called and met with Dr. Torres and immediately liked him. He was very personable. I can't explain it, but something finally clicked inside me. After being on his program, I lost 45 pounds, and for the first time in my life, I feel comfortable and am proud of myself. My husband and I have been married 25 years, and I'm now thinner than the day we met. My blood work is optimal, I'm active, better at my job, and I feel in control of my health. This has truly changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
Beachcombing, baking cookies, learning French. Aren't these what you'd rather be doing than thinking about your Medicare prescriptions? Well, Walgreens is here to help you get back to it with convenient refill and pickup options, expert pharmacists to answer all your questions, and Medicare copays as low as $0. Zero. Which is also the number of cares in the world you'll have as you stroll the beach, eating cookies and speaking French. Oh la la. Walgreens.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans where Walgreens is a preferred pharmacy.
I like a bed that's really firm.
I need something a little softer than that. Rest easy. The Sleep Number 360 smart bed, you can both adjust your comfort with your Sleep Number setting.
Can it really help me fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet. Okay, but can it help keep us asleep? It senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you effortlessly comfortable. Sleep Number, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition smart bed. Queen, now $1,799. Plus free premium delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. Hi, I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 10 locations and check out the Kubota L2501 tractor package deal, which includes a 4-wheel drive tractor with a hydrostatic transmission, a front loader, a rear mower, a box plate, and a trailer, all for one low price. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package deals. EwaldKubota.com.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere. making Capital One an even easier decision.
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
New consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One NA member FDIC.
DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of Super Bowl 55, is bringing back their golden ticket giveaway with up to $55 million in prizes up for grabs. All you have to do is enter DraftKings' free Super Bowl prediction challenge. Once you submit your picks, you'll get a free instant prize up to $25,000. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BART. That's code BART. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of Super Bowl 55. Terms, conditions, and eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson, his website's alawyerforus.com. Injured in an auto collision. Make sure you get a hold of Jason quick. The insurance companies are working for the other guys. Make sure you get one that's going to make sure you're protected. Jason Thompson, 210-900-0400. And, you know, Jason, as we awoke this morning, the news, first of all, was absolutely shocking. I did not think, especially given that we had made it to Thursday, that the coaching decision was still in play. I just felt like Bieniemy had been decided upon, couldn't be announced, and this time was going to be used to maybe ease Deshaun's mind and get him on the same page. And so that when they do announce Bieniemy, you know, the day after the Super Bowl, that everybody gathers together in a spirit of harmony and love, and they would move forward as an organization as one. And obviously, it was a pipe dream. That was a ridiculous thought.
Yeah.
So the fairy tale was that they brought in a GM, a hatchet man, and they bring in a spiritual guru in to remold the franchise into something completely and absolutely different, to expunge the world of everything Obes had ever touched or been a part of, to blow this whole thing up. That was the plan the moment Casario signed his contract.
It kind of feels that way, that you come in and you're going to have to blow this thing up and then rebuild it. And if you're going to get a bunch of draft picks for Deshaun, it does make rebuilding it a little bit easier. And that looks like the plan. Let's hire a coach who won't be successful. And clearly at 65 years old, I know the dude signed a 5-year contract, but, you know, he's not one of those coaches that you hope is with the organization for the next 10, 12 years, right? I mean, you know, right. If you go with the younger coach, you got a young quarterback, you figure those guys could be together for a decade, right? Even though contracts are probably 5 years, you're going to get another one. This guy's, it's his retirement job. This is, you know, all right, you've been in the NFL for a long time. Here's Cadillac to go out the door. You're going to be the head coach of a team that's going to fire you in, 3 years after a couple of 0-16 seasons because, Josh McCown is your starting quarterback, who we did interview for the head coaching job. Maybe they interviewed Josh McCown for the head coaching job just to get intel on the New York Jets because he used to play for the Jets. And, what could they get out of that locker room? And they trade there. Where is he going? I see on our Facebook Live, Foxborough, Stephen Canto thinks he'll be a Patriot. I know a lot of people think he'll be with the Jets or the Dolphins. And part of me, as I look at this, I still want to say Deshaun is so damn good. How the Houston Texans could get to this point and not make him come to the office, sit him in a room, talk it out, figure it out, do everything you can. But what I was watching this morning on First Take, yesterday we heard about the job going to Culley. So you knew this was coming, that the Deshaun story, that everybody knew you hired Culley. That probably doesn't make Deshaun happy. But for Stephen A. Smith, live on television this morning, to check his phone and goes, hold on, guys, hold on. I just need to put this out there. I'm being told right now that this story leaking this morning about Deshaun wanting out is from the organization, not Deshaun's people. Deshaun's people were asked to confirm, and they're pissed that the organization put it out there that he's demanded a trade. That doesn't sound good either.
And there will be more sordid details to fall out over the next couple of days. Texans fans, we do want to hear from you. 656-3776, 656-ESPN, our Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. Let's hit a Mike McLeod, the Texan fan of Texan fans, Houston Texans fan club member. Mike, welcome aboard, man. Thoughts?
Well, I thought I had my thoughts composed until I heard that little bit of information from Stephen A. I am just so frustrated where my franchise is to finally have a transcendent, yes, that's right, a transcendent football player on our team that's the quarterback, and finally have that player that can make some headway into the fanhood of Texas. I joke that I use a fan club to kind of burn that Blue Star plague away that has a hold on San Antonio. Deshaun would have been that torch. He is a generational talent. You know, he would have been if he would have start raising trophies up at NRG, then we would have generations of kids that are trying to emulate after Deshaun. You talk about Mamba mentality, they're going to be talking about Deshaun mentality.
Well said. I appreciate that correlation.
That is what the Texans would be blowing out the door. I am looking right now at my floor that's covered in Texans jerseys, at least 11. A lot of them Watson, a lot of them Watt, and a lot of Hopkins. Now, those are some pretty big players to get have jerseys for, and you would think they would never leave. And I'm not the only one to have that. And these are all players that are role models that you can be proud to say, hey, my son is wearing that. My 5-year-old son is wearing a number 4 jersey. And for the team to pick some guy who doesn't perform on the field, who doesn't bring any value to your team, to choose him over a player like that, who could make an impact on your fandom for generations, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then what kind of got me really alarmed is when Cal did an interview with John McClain, and he said Easterby is not going anywhere, and you'll just have to deal with it. And
Mike, you're gonna have to deal with it. Appreciate the call, and I appreciate you not cussing at all throughout that whole thing. You should have seen the messages I had earlier today, man. You talk about some unhappy fans. I mean, and you look at it, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And he's right. I mean, outside of Kansas City right now, is there a franchise that would not trade their quarterback for Deshaun Watson? And I say that as a Cowboy fan. Jerry can pull off a Deshaun deal. Love you, Dak. See ya. You didn't sign your deal. You know, Russell Wilson. You don't think Pete Carroll would say, well, Russ, you're getting up there in age, man. Haven't won a Super Bowl, have been to it since we paid you. Bring in Deshaun. Green Bay, the Rams. Every franchise out there not named Kansas City would explore the idea and the options of getting a Deshaun Watson. And if they don't, they should be fired.
Justin Herbert?
David Culley.
All of them, Pledge. I would rather have Deshaun Watson over Justin Herbert. You know, and I know the math and the rookie deal parts are there, but I know what I've got with Deshaun. I liked what I saw from Justin. I can figure out the money and make all the cap stuff work. I mean, they do that every year. Unless you're talking about Patrick Mahomes, I would do if I'm running a franchise, I'm doing everything I can to get Deshaun Watson. Christopher Summers, he said he'd rather have Dak than Deshaun. You know, again, I'm taking Deshaun. And I love Dak Prescott.
What the numbers he put up were ridiculous. There's no questioning his value. And that really is why at the end I figured that somebody in the room would go, what are we doing here? Pull the Taylor Twellman. What are we doing? I mean, how did we get, what are we doing? I mean, just at some point. And do you get the feeling that how long ago did we first hear Angry Andre and his first tweet in years? How long was that? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Couple weeks? Do you get the feeling that he was in on a meeting and he went, what are we doing? What are you guys? Did I just hear someone in the back on this Zoom call mention just letting Deshaun go trading? Did I hear that? What are you doing? I mean, I'm sure that those that had any semblance of sanity and football knowledge looked at this and went, I got to step away, or excise myself, or if to save my very conscience and my reputation, I got to call these guys out. And Andre did. Like, I can't be associated with any of this because I was on this special blue ribbon committee that was going to be out there to searching. And this is what's going to happen. I'm out, and I got to tell Deshaun, it's coming, man. I got to warn him that what's around the corner isn't pretty. This is the pieces now make sense. I just don't get why a man like Casario, who obviously is a football mind, wouldn't look at the challenge of building around Deshaun Watson more acceptable than the hand grenade to the locker room. Just blow the whole thing up. I don't know why you would choose option B over A. I don't know. I mean, there are, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, and any longtime listener of this show, the Texans used to be my AFC team. I didn't like how Bill O'Brien ran things the last couple of years. They did a lot of things to make you not root for them. The passionate Texans fans, like a James Pledger or a Mike McLeod, are now seeing what the fringe fans felt several years ago from the Texans. There's just something off about all of them, right? But you look at the Dallas Cowboys have gone through, let's say, whether it's a Dak Prescott or even a Tony Romo, where half the fan base can't stand the guy, half the fan base loves the guy. It is hard, and the Houston Texans have managed to do it. It is hard to piss off 100% of your fan base. I don't know one Texan fan alive that is excited about their head coach, excited about their general manager, and excited about the idea of trading away a Deshaun Watson. Universally, it's viewed as stupid. You put on the NFL Network today, ESPN today, everybody is trying to figure out what the hell are the Houston Texans doing. It's hard to get 100% disapproval rating like that. Well, they did it. And it really wasn't that hard, to be quite frank. I mean, they didn't have to do a whole lot. It happened pretty fluidly. Let's trade away a star quarterback. You know the thing about, and you brought up something that does need to be touched upon. The battered Houston fan. We did our best to put together a list of what has happened to Houston fan. And I don't know anything about the Houston Dynamo. I don't know if they've lost somebody. I'm sure they have. Sure. Or, I know J.J. Watt's wife had to leave. So we could have put her name on there. But this is the list of the athletes that have left the Harris County area over just the last year. Garrett Cole exited quite quickly. George Springer recently departed. A.J. Hinch, well, I mean, not a player, but pretty important on the landscape there. Absolutely, yeah. Then the D-Hop and the Deshaun exodus. And then we'll deal with the Rockets and their uniqueness. Westbrook, Paul, and Harden exit the city all in the same year. How can you manage that? But we got to give some credit to the University of Houston as well. They managed to run off Derek King, who promptly went to Miami and was a Heisman candidate. Houston, I hate to grab the saying again, it's trite and overused, but we have a problem. And again, there's more to that list. I mean, Maury, sure. And D'Antoni, when you look at I mean, it is amazing. And yeah, you're going to add J.J. Watt to that list relatively soon. He's going to go wear yellow pants and play with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But it is crazy, the psyche of a Houston sports fan, right now. I mean, and I know there's been some success, and you had the recent World Series, but even, a year that, say, the Cowboys sucked, well, the Rangers go to the World Series, or the Stars are doing something well, or you got the Mavs in the NBA Finals. There was always one team that's doing something relatively good. And you go to most markets that have, 3 or 4 of the big pro teams, and when you got one in shambles, there's somebody else that you can latch onto that's having good. Everybody is a part of the mudslide right now in Houston. They're all going downhill. Now, I guess the good news, you could be a Houston basketball fan. The Cougars are 6th, I believe, in the country, so you have to jump on that bandwagon. At least they've got something going for him.
NCAA sanctions coming.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Of course, it is certainly coming around the bend for a lot of different reasons. Houston fan, things are bad. It is always darkest before the dawn. So what can we expect next? There is a deal that's imminent. Now that we know the exodus is coming, and certainly that Band-Aid is hurting. Now you rip that thing off, and it's going to need some soothing balm that could be 4 picks and a number 1 or a stud player.
here's the other side of that is everybody's going to be in play, but Deshaun Watson has that no trade clause. So Deshaun Watson will control where he goes. And I know you've heard a lot of people talking about the NBA version of what we've seen now happening with Deshaun. So his agent is the one that's actually going to negotiate the trade, not Nick Caserio. But now if you're the Jets or you're the Dolphins, the two front runners, add in whatever other team you want. I don't know that you're going to have the bidding war that everybody thinks there's going to be, because the other general managers know that you've got to make a deal. I don't have to give you the sweetest hearts of sweetheart deals here, because one, if he wants me, that's going into my favor. So it's only going to be one or two teams bidding against each other based on where Deshaun decides he wants to go. So when you get the trade done, the return to Houston might not be this incredible haul that everybody is expecting, 10 years worth of number ones or anything like that.
What's it cost to get you a Deshaun Watson? We'll look at it and we'll figure out how it could get done. Coming up, you're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You're going to fire up the grill. You want the best sausage again. You think about that big game coming up a week from Sunday. You're going to have some family over. You're going to spend some time outside grilling. You want the best sausage. You get yourself Kielbasa smoked sausage. That's what you're looking for, and it's because the way they make it. They make their legendary smoked sausage in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They don't add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce. Then it is smoked over real hardwood, just the way Rufus Kielbasa did back in 1949. They're a great local company. They've been here since 1949. Everything they make is still made over there off of South Brazos Street. At Kielbasa, they are on a mission to reintroduce you to authentic smoked meats. So when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you know you're getting the best, most authentic smoked sausage you will ever eat. If it's not, call Michael Kielbasa. He'll give your money back. He guarantees it's the best. That's why he puts his phone number on the back of every package sold. Kielbasa sausage is now available at Walmart. And, of course, you can find Kielbasa sausage, bacon, chorizo, and those great breakfast links at HEB near you. You're going to fire up the grill? Get some Kielbasa today.
Game Nights The Blitz focuses on your silver and black in depth for 30 minutes. Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
Spend your game nights with us. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Well, San Antonio, it's official. 2020 is hindsight, and it couldn't happen soon enough. Chip Ingram here from the Rupo. As 2021 takes over, we're excited for NFL playoffs, the new look Spurs, and the prospect of life without masks and curfews and daily briefings. I want to thank you personally for your support through one hell of a year, and invite you to keep coming back to the Rupo, located at 281 in Redland Road. See you at the Rupo.
Thomas J. Henry recently recovered $22 million in a wrongful death trucking case. If you were hurt in an accident, we can help. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio to start your claim today. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
I like a bed that's really firm.
I need something a little softer than that.
Rest easy. With the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, you can both adjust your comfort with your Sleep Number setting.
Can it really help me fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet.
Okay, but can it help keep us asleep?
It senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you effortlessly comfortable. Sleep Number, proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition smart bed. Queen, now $17.99. Plus free premium delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
I'm Joel, co-founder of the company behind Superbeats. I'm excited to share with you our newest product, Superbeats Heart Chews, which includes clinically researched grapeseed extract, shown to be 2 times as effective at supporting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone.
Get a free 30-day supply of Superbeats Chews, plus a free 30-day supply of Super Grapes with your first purchase when you shop at getsuperbeats.com/sky. That's getsuperbeats.com/sky.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S., all free.
With the radio.com app.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired fitness celebrity Billy Blanks.
Okay, everybody, our car just got a broken windshield. How about we blow off some steam? Now punch, now kick.
Mr. Blanks, there's no need to be stressed. Geico makes it easy to file a claim online, on the app, or over the phone.
Yeah, but what if I never hear back? That's going to make me want to go jab and jab.
Nope. Your Geico claims team is always there for you.
Okay, do I still get my post-workout protein shake?
Sure, Billy. Geico, great service without all the drama.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
It is the Blitz. Home for your 10K a day payday here at ESPN San Antonio. Easy to win. Just listen all day, every day. Take the keyword you hear. Go to ESPNSA.com. Enter it. $10,000 could be yours. Talk about a stimmy. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Let's see if we can stimulate the Houston or the Harris County Athletics as things seem to be going south down there. You know, let's start looking on the bright side of things, the possibilities that lie before Houston Texans fan, because you do have a pretty big chip to play in the game. You do have something to go all in with that does have a fair amount of value. But, you know, like my daddy always said, something is only worth what another person will pay for it. Yep. That's it. The worth is that. You can say it's something else and it might be to you, but until somebody will pay it, that's its worth. What is Deshaun Watson worth?
You know, and you look at that, and obviously it's going to be a lot, and it doesn't. You know, there's so many options this year with the free agent quarterbacks that the trade doesn't necessarily have to be involving another quarterback. You know, so if it's the Jets, yeah, you might get a Sam Darnold, but you could then flip Sam Darnold somewhere else. Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network on what the price would be for Ian Rappaport.
How high can you count? I mean, this is a young, upstanding citizen, great quarterback coming up, the best year of his career, on a contract that is large, but the signing bonus has already been paid, so it's palatable for teams, but also who cares? It's Deshaun Watson. I would say everyone who doesn't have Patrick Mahomes or someone similar should be interested. So really all the teams, I would say, the New York Jets would be interested. The Miami Dolphins would be interested. Carolina Panthers, Indianapolis Colts, Denver Broncos, many teams. If you want a franchise quarterback, I would Chicago Bears, another one. If you want a franchise quarterback, I would suggest calling the Texans about Deshaun Watson. Multiple first-round picks, potentially some very good players as well. And just so you know, the mechanics of how this would work, Watson has a no-trade clause. So he can't just go anywhere. He actually would decide where he goes. The way it would work is the two teams would agree to a deal, and then Watson would provide written notice that he would accept that team. That is how this would work. That is how Deshaun Watson eventually would get traded.
And that would mean that they would have to talk, because it starts with, okay, Deshaun, where do you want to go? You sure you want to leave? Are you sure? Can we talk about this a little bit more? Let's talk. I mean, you know, but it's interesting because, you know, I got a tweet from somebody said, Mr. S.A. Mariner, wonder if Matt Stafford comes to pair with old new coach, then try to draft for the future. You know, and you look at a Matt Stafford, would he want to come back to Texas? Of course, and, you know, he'd be at Houston. He's young.
That mess?
Well, I mean,
he's leaving the frying pan. You think he wants to jump in the fire?
Hey, man, I'm going from bad to worse. I mean, there's not many quarterbacks that can do that. But I mean, you think about Matt Stafford, how he could play into this. You know, the teams that are trying to get Deshaun that don't win, Matt Stafford's going to be the next guy, right? I mean, you know, All right. Well, you know what? We didn't get Deshaun, but we can get Matt Stafford. Is he not the second best available quarterback? Unless, of course, Aaron Rodgers does the same thing. But that beautiful mystery has him going to Los Angeles.
Yeah. The best deal to make would be with Detroit. And it's not about Stafford. It's about the potential high draft picks that would be involved with that. I mean, that's the deal you want to make, because let's face it, I don't know what's going on in Detroit, but they're not any closer than Houston is to jumping out of the back
Deshaun
of the pack.
Watson is not going to accept.
That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, we can look at where the good deals lie, but the good deals ain't going to be that available to you when Deshaun slides his piece of paper and the only words written on there are Miami and San Francisco and LA. I mean, those, if it's just 3, now certainly you're going to get value back, but you certainly would rather have 12 guys bidding than 3. I mean, there could be a bit of
his preferred top destination, according to a report from over the weekend.
That would be extraordinary. That might be, and I'm not about collusion, but if that was the case, and if it does end up that the Jets are part of this, it would make you hope that this was the plan from the get-go. The moment they blew the whistle to end the season, that the conversations had begun, and this is what was put together. Because the series of events that got us to today are ridiculous. This is dumb, because you can say all you want. They decided a long time ago they didn't want Deshaun Watson. If they wanted Deshaun, they would have a Deshaun Watson today. I think you could have sued it. And the first thing you could have done is says, we're the guys that paid you $150 million. We're going to do everything we can to help you. So this is where we're going. I'd have flown to him. I'd have talked to him. They chose not to. So this could have been a plan from the get-go if the deal that we see with the Jets is most likely, and he's already agreed that this is a good landing spot for him. Then it would all kind of make sense.
What I do find interesting, you just said, I mean, there's apparently been no contact. We knew he was on vacation. How Cal or the new GM, Nick Cassera, hasn't talked to Deshaun is beyond me. Get on a plane and go. Even Pop went out to L.A. and had lunch with Kawhi. Does this go down as one of the biggest sports divorces in history? I mean, is this bigger than Shaq and Kobe breaking up? I'm trying to think of, it seems like, and it maybe isn't fair to say, but it does seem like the lack of effort on the Texans side to try to make things better just isn't there. It's like, all right, this is the way we do things here. You don't want to be here? Send me your list of teams. We'll get rid of you. It makes no sense.
Cal McNair is proving to be a different kind of owner, certainly. He certainly is doing his best to set his own mark. He has certainly been a departure, I believe, from what his dad would have done. I don't think he would have ever let Deshaun Watson go. I think that was the crowning achievement of his football life, to have a Deshaun Watson on the roster and on the field. I mean, that transcendency. And you take what you heard from Rappaport, and they said, well, what's a Rappaport worth? I mean, what's a Deshaun Watson worth? And his reply is, well, every team that, other than a team
Kansas City,
with Deshaun or Mahomes, will probably be interested. And there's every team but a team that with Mahomes would be interested in the guy you've got, and you decided it was wiser for you to let him go. It's a bold move.
Hey man, if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here. That just seems so dumb. I mean, all of this seems ridiculous, and we are not even a calendar year away, are we, Pledge, from him signing that massive contract? I mean,
we're not 6 months away from it.
Yeah,
we are so. I mean, this thing has gone south so fast, and you wonder. Well, I mean, and it did. I really do think it all started with the Hopkins trade. I mean, you can look at all the other stuff, but you figure they fired Bill O'Brien. When this all started coming out, I wondered if that was. All right, we'll get rid of Bill. Make you happy, Deshaun. And that wasn't enough. 656 ESPN, 656-3776 on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines. What's going to be interesting is over the next several weeks when we start hearing what the trade offers really are for Deshaun Watson.
September 5th, he signed his extension. It hasn't been 5 months.
It is the most remarkable move I've seen in the NFL. What about you guys? What is the biggest sports move you've ever seen? I cannot recall a player begging out after signing the biggest contract in that sport's history in under 5 months. The very idea that we have gotten to this, I've never seen anything like it. In basketball, we've been close, but nothing like this. We'll continue to talk this and your calls coming up next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for New Brakes, NUBrakes.com. New Brakes is a mobile brake shop. They'll come to you to fix your brakes. At New Brakes, they've made getting your brakes repaired easy, convenient, and affordable because they'll come to your home, they'll come to your office, wherever you are, and fix your brakes while you continue to do what you do in your daily life. If you're at work and you got that Zoom call, no worries. You can be on the Zoom call. They're going to be outside fixing your brakes. You're watching a movie, taking a nap, online shopping. It doesn't matter because it's convenient. It's at your convenience. You don't have to go to a brake shop, wait a couple hours, or leave your car and then go back and get it. They come to you, and they only fix brakes. Most repairs are done in less than an hour, and they use premium brake parts, back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all their great 5-star reviews. NUBrakes.com. When you go there and schedule your repair, save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN. NUBrakes.com. That's NUBrakes.com.
The ESPN San Antonio 10K Payday. This hour's winning word is
chew.
Enter that word now at ESPNSA.com. Another reason it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Great cash, homie. Pros bring something extra to every job. Now at the Home Depot, they also get something extra. Pro Extra, our free loyalty program built for pros just like you. Members earn perks with every dollar spent, like Pro Extra Dollars, a tool rental credit, and more. New members get $20 off their next in-store purchase of $200 or more just for signing up. Learn more at homedepot.com/Pro Extra. New year, more rewards, Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
O'Reilly. Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with Heat Long Life Universal Pre-Mixed Antifreeze and Coolant. On sale now for just $5.99 after mail-in rebate. Plus, earn double O-Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
As a minimalist, paying less for insurance is more.
Nice place. Is your house a bubble?
It's a dome. I find corners unnecessary.
At Liberty Mutual, that's how we feel about overpaying for insurance.
But I do miss having shelves.
What would you put on them?
Nothing, obviously.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
See the best of the best, the area's top high school senior players in the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by HEB, January 30th at Hero Stadium. Current NFL pros Marcus Davenport and Josh Reynolds played here. It's the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, 2 p.m. January 30th. Tickets just $10 in advance or $15 on game day. On sale at sanantoniosports.org. Sponsored by HEB, the U.S. Army, P&G, and Zero, Whataburger, Frost, Thomas J. Henry, and Generations Federal Credit Union.
Guys, waking up over and over to pee is not okay. But now, you can reduce those nighttime bathroom trips with the ingredients in Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced. We're talking about less urges to pee at night, less bathroom trips during the day, and better bladder emptying.
It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one.
You can try a full 30-day bottle of P3 Advanced, free. Just cover shipping and handling, and a free bottle will be conveniently shipped to your door. No strings attached and no commitments to buy. Call 1-800-491-5123. Super Beta Prostate is the best-selling brand in major retailers like Walmart. But for this no strings attached free bottle, you must call now. Call 1-800-491-5123. Agents are standing by to take your call for this unprecedented free offer. Call 1-800-491-5123. 1-800-491-5123.
It is the Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. News of the day. Texans have hired new head coach David Culley In reaction to that, the franchise is collapsing upon itself. Deshaun Watson would like to leave the situation.
He would, although his new quarterback coach, if he were to stay in Houston, looks to be Pep Hamilton. Tom Pelissero tweeting a big hire in the works for the Texans. They're going to bring in Pep Hamilton as the quarterback's coach per source. So apparently it won't be Josh McCown.
Did he know? Did he know that Deshaun wants to leave? Did he have that idea before he agreed to this job?
I don't know if Pep has cable or Twitter, but I would assume he knows.
You might want to give that a second thought. You might want to check your Twitter feed before you sign that contract. What? He did what? He wants to leave?
They're doing business as usual, putting together a staff as you'd expect the first day you hire a new head coach.
Well, calmer minds have to prevail. We have to find a way. Maybe there's still a plan afoot to lure Deshaun Watson back. We need to talk our Texan fans off the ledge. If you got a concern, if you're worried and you need a couple of words of encouragement, you probably don't want to call here, but we'll give us our, we'll do our very best.
If you need to vent, go ahead.
Yeah, let it go. 656-3776, 656-ESPN. All voices will be heard. Let's jump to them. And Cleto, we know that voice. Cleto Rodriguez joining us here on the Blitz. Welcome aboard, my friend.
Hey, guys. It's a sad day today. Sad day.
Cleto, you normally have jokes, man. You normally make people laugh.
This is the first day I do not feel funny at all. I mean, there's nothing. Let me tell you something. I mean, this is normally I would be like, okay, you don't want to be here, go. But, this is Deshaun Watson. This is a guy that's got talent. He's got character. He's got his face tattooed on my back. Yes, this guy. Oh, my goodness. Come on.
I wish we had something to help you out, bro. So this is what Texan fan has to hold on to right now. First of all, tuck that Deshaun Watson jersey away. At some point, you're going to like it. At some point, a long time from now, you're going to look back fondly on these years. Right now, no, don't look at it. And then trust in the you have to. What is faith? It's trust in things unseen. You're going to have a little faith. Something that is completely unseen in the intelligence of the Houston Texans and using these drafts and the value that's going to come in return to get you guys back on the railings. Do you have any justification for that? No, this is truly, you are taking the leap of faith.
You know what, Rob? I'm telling you right now, you could give us the Wizard of Oz. It would take more than that to go ahead and kick this guy here. There's nobody named Pip, or anybody's going to save this man, keeping him here in Houston, because I'm telling you, I don't know what to say. I can't believe it's like a bad dream. I remember when he came in. I remember the draft. I remember we went up to get him, and I was like, yes, finally, we're going to the promised land. No, again, we're not. I mean, now it's like, oh, I don't believe this. It is like, I don't even know how to say it. I'm like on the, you know what? There's got to be a bar open right now that is not COVID. I mean, it's just like, are you kidding me?
So you need to find a place with a patio.
Preferably on the first floor. We don't want you near any ledges.
No
balcony bars, Cleto. You have to stay on the ground level.
I don't even know who. I mean, you can't. There's nobody out there. Like, the only way I would be really okay with this little trade is if you gave us Trevor Lawrence, I'd be okay a little bit. I'd be a little bit all right with that one. But
what about Sam Darnold?
Who?
Sam Darnold.
No, you know what? You might as well give me the quarterback of the XFL, because I'd rather have Deshaun Watson. As a matter of fact, I'll take Deshaun Watson's cousin. Somebody was. I'm gonna tell you right now, because it hurts. It hurts, guys. It hurts me bad right now. I mean, look, oh my goodness! I'm gonna have my son drive here in a minute.
I think Cleto sums up Houston Texan fan reaction today as Deshaun Watson has made it very clear that he does not want to play for the Houston Texans anymore upon the announcement, although it sounds like this was already in the works. David Culley is the new head coach of the Houston Texans. It was just announced quarterbacks coach Pep Hamilton will be coming in, a guy of great renown, certainly a good hire by every measure, but it's in the wake of just the strangest news the Texans have ever put out. we'll look forward to what they're going to do, Jason. And certainly there is opportunity. There in fact is opportunity on getting there, but we're going to have to figure out what that opportunity entails. And we'll do, we'll talk with John McClain at 5:15 and see what he knows beyond that. We're also going to talk lots of Spurs. It is very strange that a Spurs beaten of the Boston Celtics, number 2 in the Eastern Conference, in a crazy basketball game. Defense, the name of the game. Errors right behind that, but DeMar takes it through with what a fantastic basketball game. We haven't talked about that. When we come back, we will certainly talk about the Spurs beating the Celtics. Let's get going, man. I'm feeling pretty good about this team, but really the news is Deshaun and his imminent departure. As we head into break, Jason, do you see in any of the tea leaves from anything we're seeing coming out of Houston or any of the national types that there is an ongoing attempt to try to keep him around? That maybe this Hamilton hire there's none, right? There is not even an overt try to see if he will stay.
When I hear that he has not yet talked to Nick Caserio, I mean, the day that I land, I'm tracking Deshaun down and going to his house. I'm Tom Brady walking into the neighbor's house of Byron Leftwich. I'm finding where you are, Deshaun, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. I'm going to do everything I can to show you that I love you and I want you to be here, that I came here because of you. I mean, you imagine if you're Nick Caserio, unless that was part of the interview plan, if Jack Easterby in the interview said, well, we got to get rid of that quarterback. How much do you think you can get for him? That's part of your first job, is to do that. No, by the way, there's probably going to be a massive microscope on us as we do everything, because we're about to trade away our franchise. Everybody is going to hate you. You still want the job? I mean, who signs up for that? I can't believe that they have had zero communication directly with Deshaun Watson outside of text messages.
You're curious what's going on behind the walls there at the fortress that will become the Texans headquarters down there, because I think the Barbarians are headed for the gate. Deshaun Watson imminent to exit. J.J. Watt, what happens with him? What is the next domino to fall as new coaches are hired? David Culley there. They got an offensive guy, and Pep Hamilton going to handle whatever quarterback does arrive. That carousel continues to turn. We will continue talking that. John McClain will join us. We'll look further into the Texans. Lots of Spurs talk headed your direction. We're grilling at 6 o'clock. You got a little bit of time to upload your picture of your grilling spectacular meal. I almost went there again. You got to be real careful with this promo. Hey, we'll be right back. You're on the Blitz.
Are you ready to laugh?
Yeah!
Shane Gillis is playing this weekend at the LOL Comedy Club.
I'm 31. I just this year found out that I was a fat guy. I'm from a white trash enough town that this was killing it.
Shows are Tuesday through Sunday, and all week you can win free tickets to the Sunday show on the Blitz from 4 to 7. Another way it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day. 1250 ESPN San Antonio at 94.5 FM.
Before we rodeo San Antonio, mosey on over to Dietz Tractor. We're busting out of the chutes early with a stock full of LS tractors. And this is no 8-second ride. Take your time and choose from a field that includes compact and utility tractors at low prices. Excel in your field with LS Tractor, 6-time winner of the EDA Dealer's Choice Award. Backed by a limited 6-year warranty, LS Tractors will give you more standard features and more performance for less money. These are some of the hottest tractors around, and Dietz Tractor wants to sell them to you today at unbelievable prices. Dietz Tractor, where you get more tractor for less. Shane Gillis is coming to LOL Comedy Club this weekend. Get out and laugh with Shane Gillis, who was recently named an Up Next comic at Comedy Central's 2019 Clusterfest in San Francisco, and a new face at Just for Laughs in Montreal. LOL Comedy Club, where San Antonio laughs out loud. With 6 shows this weekend at LOL Comedy Club, see Shane Gillis and laugh out loud. 1 show on Thursday, 2 shows on Friday and Saturday, and 1 show on Sunday. Get your tickets now at improvtx.com. That's improvtx.com.
Panera's new flatbread pizzas are here. But to our new chef, Klaus, they're not just pizzas. They're masterpieces. Because it's not just cheese, it's hot and melty mozzarella and fontina cheese. It's not just sauce, it's market tomato red bell pepper sauce. And it's not just toppings, it's fresh mozzarella, basil, and grape tomatoes. Taste our delicious new flatbread pizzas today. Order online for pickup or delivery. Panera. Restrictions apply.
Beachcombing, baking cookies, learning French. Aren't these what you'd rather be doing than thinking about your Medicare prescriptions? Well, Walgreens is here to help you get back to it with convenient refill and pickup options, expert pharmacists to answer all your questions, and Medicare copays as low as $0. Zero. Which is also the number of cares in the world you'll have as you stroll the beach, eating cookies and speaking French. Oh la la. Walgreens.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans where Walgreens is a preferred pharmacy.
For DIY projects, you know the Home Depot is always in your corner. Now with our mobile app, it can also be in the palm of your hand. With digital tools like image search, snap a picture of something. It'll recognize it and serve up product suggestions in seconds. And our product locator will check availability and lead you right to it. The Home Depot mobile app. Download it today to get started. Only from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Fact: no one likes feeling lost. Whether you're stranded on a deserted island or while you're filing your taxes. But with Tax Act expert help, you'll get access to real live CPAs and tax experts 7 days a week. They'll help you get your maximum refund guaranteed. I double pinky promise it. So don't get stranded while doing your taxes. Get the help you need. File for less and get more with Tax Act. Start for free at taxact.com. See taxact.com for complete details.
KCDC San Antonio.
Hey, it's Kirk Herbstreit, and you're listening to San Antonio Sports Leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, and 94.5 FM,
where the pros play.
The big game is finally here, and you can follow all the action at betonline.net. Tampa is currently a 5-point underdog. Kansas City is looking for back-to-back titles. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. Welcome aboard. Happy Thursday to you. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger, hanging by a thread so close to the edge that his best friend has to get up on Twitter and try to cheer him up. News of the day, it appears that, the
best
Deshaun
friend
Watson
on Facebook Live. Take off that Texans gear pledge. Chiefs bandwagon application is being accepted because I know his best friend is a big Chiefs fan. And
accept that invitation, James. Accept that invitation. Step on to that bandwagon and ride proudly to another trophy, my friend, because that's the only way you're going to see one anytime soon. Deshaun Watson has, by every measure other than his own words, demanded a trade. We still really haven't heard much from Deshaun, though we have to trust the sources that be. The story behind the hiring of David Culley and then the anger that Deshaun Watson goes to the very messaging or the very announcement, the way that it came out. We're going to talk a lot about what happened with the Houston Texans as Deshaun wants to come out. We're looking at the Spurs right now. John McClain will join us here in about 15 minutes, and we'll get some inside scoop there. But first, before we get into the Texans, let's do something cheerful for just a couple of minutes. The Spurs won a home game, which was awfully nice. Woo! They beat the number 2 team in the East, which is even better, but they did it in the most haphazard, unspur-like game that we have seen all season long that kind of puts a smile on your face because they did it wrong, but they did it. I mean, the fast break was a mess. Turnovers were through the freaking roof, and yet they shut down this trio of ballers on a Boston Celtics team that, in my mind, Jason, looked like they were about a game or two away from really ripping off a win streak because they were finally getting Kemba back and Tatum's back from the COVIDs and Jaylen Brown scoring 35 points a night and doing all that. Nope. Spurs defense carried the night.
When I watching that game. Now, first off, it started the way I thought. Spurs went up 2-0, and then they were down like 12-4. Right? I mean, so you're like, all right, there you go.
PJ, you're so right.
Yeah, PJ Hoops on our Facebook Live. Keldon Johnson is something special, and he certainly is. He is going to be a stud for a long, long time. But you look at this game. All right, then they're up, then they're down, and in the fourth quarter, I expected the Boston Celtics to close out the Spurs and finish them off, and that didn't happen. There's been a couple of games like that game against the Clippers. Fourth quarter, the Clippers ran out of time. The Spurs held on and won that game. We've seen them close games against some weaker teams, but they closed last night, although they made it interesting. And I thought when DeJounte got that steal and dunk, that was it, ball game. But the Celtics didn't go away. Man, they got a good look at the end. I mean, that was a fun, wild final 2 minutes of that basketball game.
Pretty good birthday present, huh? We were wondering, what do you give Pop for your birthday? How about a mild heart attack, a cardio infarction? How would you like that one?
When you're 72, you got to make sure the ticker works, and obviously his still does. I know Rudy Gay gave him a laugh. Can I ask, what the hell was Rudy Gay wearing? I mean, that uniform combo with the stripes and the T-shirt and the headband, from the high camera shot, he looked like he was about 150 pounds overweight. The close-up camera was normal, but when they were shooting from up high, dude,
it was a size small. It's a different uniform. And as a fat guy, all of us fat guys know that, and Rudy, you're not a fat guy, but the lessons do apply. You don't want horizontal thick stripes running down your side. That's the first thing you want, because a thick stripe coming down tends to bulge out, because of where the bulges are, and it just really accentuates it. You also don't want a stripe around your belly. You don't want to go Charlie Brown shirt, because then it really accentuates your belly too. And then what you really never want to do as a fat guy is wear a really tight T-shirt underneath your already tight shirt and put on a matching headband. You never. That's not the best look to go out with. You look like you're showing up on Old Man's Night Thursdays for that 8 o'clock run. That's what you look like when you show up looking like that. So I guess he dressed age appropriate.
I mean, it did look like he was the old man playing it with the kids on the playground. I mean, that jersey was so tight. And again, as a fat guy, I'm conscious of this. I don't want it to look like I've got a wrapped ham hanging down there, right? I mean, it was just something about the way Rudy looked last night from that high angle shot. It was like, dude, somebody should tell him.
But on a side note, I do like the uniforms. On a side note, I actually did like the uni. As I turned it on, I was like, hey, I like that. That's a good look. Oh, who's the dude in the headband? Rudy, you took one for the team, man, and you played well to it. So maybe, maybe when Jason and I were talking about it, remember your days playing football? And it's been a long time for most of us. When you put on your football pants and you wanted those things so tight you could barely walk, knowing that it would eventually kind of stretch out and form in and be ideal. Basketball uniform, you don't want to do that. You don't want to squeeze into your basketball uniform. That's
baggies better.
You want to go, well, you don't want to go, mid-90s or mid-2000s. You don't want to go culottes. You don't want to go that direction where your shorts are on your shoes and you got to lift them up to tie them. But you don't want to go the Rudy way either. You don't want to go that small. Because I'm of that era. I'm of the 79, 80s bag of marble shorts. You don't ever want to go back there, man. You don't ever want to have to fight through those pants. It was an unfortunate look that we're all ashamed of now.
But Rudy had a hell of a game.
Yes.
Normally look good, play good. In this case, he played good despite. And again, I don't want to make fun of the guy, but I saw that and I'm like, what the hell is that?
I'm sure that his loved ones noticed too. I mean, you get a new uniform, you put it on, you're feeling good, you're gonna try out the headband, you're gonna debut this look.
I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm saying I didn't see it, but I appreciate Spurs Twitter for not blowing them up. And maybe it did happen, but I didn't see it. But here I was thinking, I'm the only one that's thinking this, right? Because I'm not seeing all the jokes on Twitter. And then when I brought it up to you earlier, I was like, okay, we can go. We can go here. I mean, it's love amongst friends. And it was only the high angle shot. The high angle shot, the close-up shots, it looked fine.
I don't think that the average fan would have picked up on that. It's more of as an older guy who's fought the battle of age and how things kind of end up right around the belt level. We've all dealt with it. And Rudy's still highly athletic. I'm not taking anything away from him. You just got to be real careful with a new uniform. You got to make sure they have a couple of sizes available.
Well, see, and when we all do have to go back to work, this COVID-19 stuff is real. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about, you think about the freshman 15, we all got the COVID-19 going on. It's going to be hard when you got to wear clothes that you haven't worn since March.
And it's so fun that was such a fun basketball game. And when you look at what the coaches take away, there's never ending coachable moments when you got a young basketball team. You could have walked into practice today. You could have walked into shoot around today as Coach Popovich and Becky and been furious and been justified. I mean, you could have walked in like you got blown out the night before because you saw so many mistakes and so many, not progressions, standing still, some things that you could certainly harp on. Those are the best kinds of wins because at the end of the day, we still won. I don't know how, but we managed to get it done. And to Boston's credit, they did it looked like they ran kind of out of gas and then kind of tried to turn it on late. It was a mad scramble. And I think this was the first time the Spurs were glad they were at home. I think that was one of the few, if not the only one, kind of pegged that on the home column.
Well, and again, I mean, as Sean Elliott said at one point in this silent AT&T crowd, although when DeMar was at the line, you wanted it to be silent that way. But I think, you mentioned running out of gas. What did they score? 37 points in the third quarter?
Yeah, they tried to click it on too late.
And then the Spurs, had that really good fourth quarter. It was, I mean, it is what it is, but I mean, that was a solid win. And again, I don't understand this team. You can beat the Celtics, you can beat the Clippers, you can beat the Lakers. You lost to that G League Rockets team.
Perfect.
And that's what we're going to get all year long.
Perfect time to warm up, I'll tell you, to beat the Celtics and then face over the next 4 games all those tweener teams, those 8 to 12 standings that you're going to have to beat to get yourself at least into that playoff preview round. These are the games you're going to have to win. So it's awfully good to know that they beat a good team. Looks like Derek White's return is imminent, so things might be ticking up. It was a nice win last night, but when you're dealing with a team like this, it could turn around pretty quick. We'll find out again on Friday night. Hey, let's talk some Houston Texans with one on the inside. John McClain of the Houston Chronicle drops by for his weekly. And, do we got some things to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
John McClain coming your direction right here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. Congratulations, San Antonio. You made it. It's Thursday evening. It is almost the weekend, and when you're doing the weekend, you got to start it the right way, and that's Twin Peaks tomorrow. Happy hours are happy hours, but Twin Peaks happy hour is unlike anything else. They're honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbons every Friday at their Bourbon and Brews party. Get to Twin Peaks Fridays from 5 to 7 to experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and gastronomic cheer. And then we're talking bourbons, not just small batch. We're talking exclusive type bourbons, those that you don't find very often. Weller, Blanton's, Buffalo Trace, just to name a few. The happy hour begins tomorrow at 5, and the fun goes all week long at Twin Peaks, 3 locations, 151 and 410, De Zavala and I-10, and the Loopland over at Park North location. Big fight on Saturday. It'll be there. Make plans for the big game the week after. Head over to Twin Peaks for all the right reasons. Those fantastic bourbons, that 29-degree cold beer, the 360 degrees of TVs, and all you can stand to watch. But why do you go? Well, we all know it. It's those scenic views.
Every Thursday night at 7 after the Blitz, ESPN San Antonio brings you Down for the Count, the premier wrestling and sports entertainment talk show, featuring news and interviews from WWE, NXT, and AEW. Down for the Count, only on ESPN San Antonio.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, bump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Have you ever wondered why eyeglasses cost so much? Glasses have been around 700 years. Isn't technology supposed to get less expensive over time? Well, there's a simple explanation. For decades, the eyewear industry has been dominated by a single company that's kept prices artificially high while reaping huge profits.
Yikes.
Warby Parker was created to change that. They design and produce their own eyewear and then sell it directly to you for a fraction of the price. Warby Parker's high-quality glasses start at just $95, including your prescription. And if you need an updated prescription, they've got a few easy ways to help you get one. Just go to warbyparker.com to try 5 pairs of frames for free. They'll ship them to you to try out for 5 days. If you find a style you like, they'll send you a fresh pair with your prescription. Easy. Go to warbyparker.com to pick your 5 frames to try on at home for free. That's warbyparker.com to get started for free. warbyparker.com.
Pros bring something extra to every job. Now at the Home Depot, they also get something extra. Pro Extra, our free loyalty program built for pros just like you. Members earn perks with every dollar spent, like Pro Extra Dollars, a tool rental credit, and more. New members get $20 off their next in-store purchase of $200 or more just for signing up. Learn more at homedepot.com/Pro Extra. New year, more rewards, Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies and our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kilbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. How can I make the most of waiting for my next big vacation?
Translate your questions into goals by investing with Merrill Edge Self-Directed. It's more accessible than you think, with helpful planning tools plus free online stock and ETF trades, so you can keep practicing your pronunciation. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/withinreach to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated. Registered broker-dealer, members IPC. Other fees may apply. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
O'Reilly. Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with Peak Long Life Universal Pre-Mixed Antifreeze and Coolant. On sale now for just $5.99 after mail-in rebate. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It is the Blitz. You are on ESPN San Antonio. He is Jason Minix. I am Rob Thompson. In times of trouble and consternation, we look to the wiser ones to ease our concerned minds. I'd like to welcome on Houston Chronicle's John McClain, the poet laureate of Texas sports writers. John, welcome aboard. What's popping, man?
Nothing. What's going on with y'all?
I know it's kind of a slow day. You know, I said earlier, the NFL media would like to thank the Houston Texans for helping provide some content between the conference championship games and the Super Bowl. I mean, what an interesting 24 hours. And I know you were the first to break the story yesterday with Culley being the guy. What is it about David Culley that separated him from, either Leslie Frazier or waiting on Eric Bieniemy?
Well, Bieniemy was not in the running. He interviewed once, as did, they interviewed 9 people. Caserio interviewed 7, including Bieniemy. And it came down to David Culley and Leslie Frazier, the Buffalo defensive coordinator. Those were the only 2 they brought in to interview in person by Nick Caserio, and it was his hire. And I thought it would be Frazier after Frazier's interview Tuesday, which was very positive. But then yesterday, David Culley came in and just knocked it out of the park. And everybody was blown away as they were on the Zoom interview. He's trying to hire Lovie Smith as a defensive coordinator. He's keeping Tim Kelly as his offensive coordinator. He's hired Pep Hamilton as a quarterback coach. Pep Hamilton worked with Andrew Luck, did a great job with Justin Herbert last year with the Chargers. He's keeping Tim Kelly as his offensive coordinator. So I'm told, and I won't know this till tomorrow because I've never talked to him, that he has a great personality. He's very enthusiastic, confident, that we're all going to be very, very impressed. And that's what people are saying around the NFL who've worked with him. I was on NFL Network this morning. Mark Ross, an analyst who was with the Eagles when he was there, and longtime personnel man with the Giants, just praised the heck out of David Culley. R.C. Slocum had him 3 years at A&M. He praised him, but people that don't know him, like here, they're ripping him. He's 65 years old. he's too old, even though he's younger than 3 other NFL coaches. And I can't wait to talk to him. A lot of former players that have worked with him are speaking up as well. So I'm fired up about it. One of the things I like is everybody says he's such a great guy to work with. And I'm looking for a great guy to work with. Leslie Frazier would have been good. Eric Bieniemy, most people would. But after what we went through with Bill O'Brien, give me a good coach who's good to work for. And of course, the big thing he's got to do is at some point try to get together with Deshaun Watson and figure out exactly what the problem is and see if David Culley, offensive coordinator Tim Kelly, quarterback coach Pep Hamilton, quarterback Josh McCown, if they, along with Caserio, can talk Deshaun Watson into not wanting to be traded. I have a column on Texas Sports Nation about the options for both sides, and they could play hardball and just let Watson sit out, in which he would accrue incredible fines, plus he wouldn't get paid, plus this season's money would roll over into next year, and let his agent, David Mulligetta, just have a torched earth exit like James Harden did, or they could work it out, or the Texans could trade him by the draft. And if they trade him, to me, there's only one team to do it with, and that's the Jets, who have the 2nd overall pick. You could be guaranteed the second best quarterback prospect behind Trevor Lawrence. If you're going to trade a guy like Watson, 25 years old, coming off a great season, great guy, big in the community, under contract through 2025, you've got to make it hurt. So I said 2 1s, 2 2s, and their 2 best defensive players, defensive end Quinnen Williams and safety Marcus May, for Deshaun Watson, because you can always overcome the loss of defensive players and draft choices eventually, but Watson could play another 10 to 15 years.
You know, John, is all of that, there's so much to digest, and Houston Texans fans have been calling us left and right. They're all on the ledge. Do you think, you just said, get all those guys together and convince Deshaun that it's okay? He signed that big contract in September. They are showing video of him getting teary-eyed on the podium. That was in September. That was after the Hopkins trade. That was before, obviously, O'Brien got fired. It got so bad in such a hurry. Do you think it is salvageable that they could mend fences with Deshaun and keep him with this organization, or is it a formality at this point? They got to go get the most they can for him.
No, I could see them digging in and telling him what they've been telling teams. He's our quarterback. We love him. He's under contract. We're not trading him. Now, of course, you need to say that now, but the draft's 3 months away. And do you want it to really get so ugly that he does like James Harden and reports late, comes in out of shape, talks bad about his team and his teammates? I don't see him doing that. I just don't see it. That's why at my age, I try to be positive. So I'm going to think there's a chance to work it out. But the truth is, I have no idea. When the national media and local media is involved so much and everything is so negative, Watson hasn't talked to him. He hasn't said anything. He hasn't tweeted anything that says he wants to be traded. It's all leaked by his agent to the national media. And so they've known he wanted to be traded. And, the only reason it was different today is Mulligetta told Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, even though they've known he wanted out ever since they hired Nick Caserio. For some reason, it seems to me like Watson wants to be gone, and maybe Mulligetta wants him in New York, because getting so mad because they hired Nick Caserio, a terrific hire, without letting you know, and then the owner apologized for the miscommunication, saying he thought it was about the the coach. That's not what a guy wants out of an organization. But what they'll continue to do with the national media is try to make the owner look as bad as they can, as left tackle Dwayne Brown did in 2017 when GM Rick Smith would not redo his contract with 2 years left on it. He started taking shots at the owner, Bob McNair. He made it a racial thing, and they traded him. And I don't think they can make it a racial thing on this. But they can sure do everything they can to try to make the owner look bad. And the owner he doesn't get involved in personnel decisions. He leaves that up to the GM and the head coach. So I don't know how this will play out, but I do know this. Right now, Texans have no intention of trading him and every intention of trying to work it out because he is a great player and a great guy.
John McClain of the Houston Chronicle here on ESPN San Antonio. John, has anybody mentioned why not acquiesce or at least open up with Deshaun in the coaching search? It appears that they didn't.
No, they did, but he wouldn't return their calls, and they sent him things telling him. That's what they'll say next, is they did not communicate with him. Well, how do you communicate with somebody who's not returning your calls or messages? You know, when the owner apologizes because there was a miscommunication on the GM hire, a GM who's won 6 Super Bowls, and Watson said, I just want to hold up the Lombardi trophy, you think he'd be fired up about that. And I've never known a player gave a darn about who the GM was. It's always about the coach. So they've done everything they can since that initial miscommunication. And I think the fact that Jack Easterby is still the executive VP of football ops has everything to do with it. And I think as long as he's in the organization, Watson's not going to change his mind. But Cal McNair likes him. Caserio likes him from their days together in New England. And I think that since McNair said he won't be fired or resign, that this is going to stay ugly.
I can't imagine keeping Easterby over Watson. I just can't. And I know you don't want to be given an ultimatum if you're Cal McNair, but my goodness.
Watson has never said that. His agent has never said that. The people are just looking for every reason that he could want out. And it's got to be much more than McNair gave him $156 million. We've been running all these pictures of them hugging on the sideline, hugging after games. But I think my personal opinion, and I don't know this, is the agent wants him out. As you guys know, agents and players control the NBA. In the NFL, the owners control the NBA. And I think his agent has got Jalen Ramsey out of Jacksonville and traded to the Rams, where they're a playoff team, and he got a great contract. I think that's what he's looking to do here, probably in New York to the Jets.
Do the Texans just leave it to Malagueta? Like, go make your deal?
No, they wouldn't trust the guy to do that, no. If they ever decide they're going to trade him, their team's call him already, but they got to drive a hard bargain. They got to say, okay, they got to be transparent. If we don't want to trade him, but here's the offers we have. We're not going to take this offer of 2-1s. Defensive players get offers of 2-1s. We're not going to take Tua Tagovailoa or Sam Darnold if we don't think they're the quarterback. So you got to play hardball with the other teams as well.
But ultimately, Deshaun and his agent, with that no trade clause, decide where he's going to go, right? I mean, you know, if you're Nick Caserio, do you waste time talking to Detroit if Deshaun has zero interest in going to Detroit and won't accept a trade there?
If he wants out of Houston, he's going to have to go where they get the best deal, or he can just sit out and retire.
He is John McClain of the Houston Chronicle joining us here on the Blitz. That it's going to get uncomfortable. The Rockets chose not to go. I wonder if the Texans choose to.
It's going to be wild. Now, all the talk about Deshaun, what about J.J. Watt and his future with the organization? He was on Jimmy Fallon the other night, and quite honestly, I don't know why J.J. agreed to go on Jimmy Fallon. Normally, J.J.'s very good on shows like that. He wasn't the other night. Is J.J. going to be with the Texans next year?
Well, he went on Jimmy Fallon so he could dance and bust some dance moves. And so he was dancing for Fallon. That's the only reason I can figure. Those two are good friends. And Watson has 1 year left, $17.5 million. The salary cap is projected to be $180 million, which means the Texans will be about $10 million over. So they could get rid of Watt and clear up $7.5 million. Plus, they're going to have more from other players moves, so they could solve a cap issue with Watt. I personally would extend him a couple of years, lower his cap figure, make sure he finishes his career here. But who could blame him if he wanted out to go play with the Super Bowl team with all the turmoil going on here with him turning 32 in March? So if Caserio operates with the Texans the way they operate in New England, he's not going to keep an older player around making a lot of money. They did it with Tom Brady, but he gave him a great hometown discount, and I don't see them doing that with Watt. So I'm guessing, yes, J.J. Watt we'll have a new zip code next season.
We are 10 days away from the Super Bowl. We had a 20-minute conversation with one of the sports writers of renown and didn't even bring it up. That shows you the size of the story today. He is John McClain of the Houston Chronicle. Make sure you're following all that stuff as the news continues to come out of Houston. Hey, John, thank you for the insight and the knowledge, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys very much. Have a great weekend and stay safe.
Hey, let's look at them San Antonio Spurs. We'll be right back after a big win. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. As the dogs begin to bark and you chase them to shut them up, have you ever pulled a hammy? Have you ever hurt yourself to the extent that you need to and then, deal with the pain that just kind of lingers on? If you're dealing with that, I want you to call my friends over at Rosti. There's no doubt that they are passionate about taking care of those sprains and strains that just seem to linger on. And your dogs are barking from plantar fasciitis all the way up to those headaches that just won't go away. Rosti, they are experts at taking care of you. And when you go to an Rosti provider, know full well that they are going to accept most insurances, and you will never need a referral to go see an Rosti provider. Rosti, they're all around San Antonio. Hit their website, Rosti.com. Quiet them dogs and get yourself back in the game. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Call Rosti today, and I am sure you will thank me later.
You could win $50,000 in the ESPN San Antonio Big Game Score Contest. Can you pick it perfectly for the chance to win $50,000? Go now to ESPNSA.com and enter what you think the score will be. Sign up today at ESPNSA.com.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 San Antonio area locations, all open and all practicing strict social distancing guidelines. Come eat, drink, and enjoy safely at all 4 Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar locations. And get over to the newest location, Slackers Medical Center, now opening at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community. Nurses, doctors, frontline workers, and staff, we thank you. Slackers Medical Center, located at Fredericksburg and Medical Center, now open at 7 a.m. Visit SlackersBarsSA.com for more info.
Paid for by Asset Marketing Services, LLC.
2021 marks the 35th anniversary of the American Eagle Coin Program, and these historic gold coins will never be the same again. Why?
The U.S. Mint has unveiled a new design for the 2021 American Gold Eagle coins.
This means now is your last chance to get an American Gold Eagle coin with the original Eagle design.
The American Eagle Coin Series has become the best-selling coin series in the world.
Act fast or miss your opportunity to own the last year of this historic Gold Eagle coin design.
Just call govmint.com at 1-800-859-1629 and you're guaranteed a shiny, new, perfect mint condition American Gold Eagle coin.
Get them now before time runs out.
Call 1-800-859-1629 now and you'll receive your very own 2021 Gold Eagle Guide, free just for calling.
This exclusive offer is only available by phone. Call 1-800-859-1629 now to secure your American Gold Eagle coins before this historic design ceases production. That's 1-800-859-1629.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big. Like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month. Or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. The guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at DiamondsDirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings, now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all drop our phones. It happens. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless now offers this new Platinum Unlimited plan that includes phone protection. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Plus 20 gigs of hotspot, 100 gigs of cloud storage, and more. All on the best network. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Hindsight is 2020, and 2020 was a brutal year that for most of it felt out of control. But you know how you can be in control? You can be in control of your job your career. Yes. In 2020, my computer career helped more people start IT careers than ever. Don't look back with 2020 hindsight next year and see yourself in that 2020 job. Take control. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Let's get wild.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. The Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. Jason Thompson, his number is 210-900-0400. His website's alawyearforus.com. If you've been in an auto collision, call Jason as soon as possible. He'll get to work for you. Remember, your first consultation, of course, is always free, and you never get paid till he never gets paid till you do. 210-900-0400. Okay, Jason, last night Spurs win 110-106 in what was an unscripted and tough win. But the fact of the matter is DeMar DeRozan paces them, comes off the 7-game no three schneid, hits 2 of them, and the Spurs grit out an ugly but entertaining win.
Ugly and entertaining, and sure, they had a ridiculous amount of turnovers at 20, and for this Spurs team, that is a lot. The key, they shot 56% from the field, and otherwise if they shoot 42, 43% like normal, they get blown out in this game to go with those 20 turnovers. And speaking of 42, that is what Boston shot last night, 42.9, 8 of 28 from 3. And again, we know this isn't a great 3-point shooting team, but 28, and where do they want to be? Around 35? Is that the kind of the goal?
If they can get that, yeah.
But when I look at DeMar DeRozan taking 8 shots in the game and 2 of those are threes, that's kind of where I think I want DeMar to be, because when I see DeMar at 8 shots and 5 of them are threes, the percentage just isn't very good. But he goes 7 of 8 and 2 of 2 from 3-point range. That's solid from DeMar. And I think as we get to the quarter pole of the season, you look at this Spurs team and DeMar trying to figure out, okay, I probably shouldn't be the volume 3-point shooter, but when they're there, I'm going to take them. But it does look like he is putting the ball on the floor a little bit and going to his comfort zone in that mid-range.
I completely agree. Last night was a stellar game by a consummate pro in DeMar DeRozan. And the defense that the Spurs offered, Evan Klosky tweeted out, and he's going to join us in the 6 o'clock hour, he of Ken's 5 Sports, about the Spurs defense. How last year they were up at about 125 points a game. They've got their defense now down to about 100 points per 100 possessions. So their defense is really picking up. And when you look at what they did to Boston last night, now, they shot 33%, but it was effective perimeter defense. Tatum doesn't get one. Jaylen Brown continues to stay hot. Kemba 2 for 7. Some of that was some rust, but a lot of that was defense. And what we saw last night was these interchangeable parts capable of switching on picks, following through on screens, playing a good high pick and roll game. And when you do that and you keep the teams from shooting threes, you'll be in the game despite 20 turnovers. And that was kind of, that was the abhorrent stat. That's double the Spurs average. Yet the defense kept it in them. And I'm sure Pop preached that all game long. The shots will fall, everything will work, but the defense has to maintain. And it did, despite the fact that they got into a situation where they gave up a last shot and it could have gone another direction. But the fact is, the Spurs D'd up, played hard, and beat a very good Eastern Conference team that, quite frankly, Jason, they own.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And again, in that third quarter, you thought, all right, Boston's going to run away with this one now. And the Spurs battled back. And, again, they shot the ball extremely well from the field. They were all right from 3. But the free throw still, when that game was it 101, 101 or 103, and it's like, dude, you got to make your free throws, LaMarcus. And did you notice at the end who was on the bench? LaMarcus Aldridge. That final stretch, LA wasn't in that game. And again, he was struggling at the line, but I thought that was interesting with who was on the floor to close that basketball game last night.
there was several reasons behind that, and free throws were of a concern. On the other side of what we did see from LaMarcus and the bigs is they shut down Tristan Thompson and Tice. Those guys were non-factors. Keep in mind, Tice coming off a 19-point game against Cleveland. So the intent was to take away the post and make them shoot difficult shots from the edge, and it worked. Now, the Spurs kept them in the game by continually just, some strange passes on fast breaks and just some flubs. But the fact is, they could have beat them by 20, but they held on late and defended enough and got enough from their bench to hold on there at the end. And when you think about how the Spurs are going to do this is how you expect it to happen, because it's just going to be – what's that?
They could have beat them by 20, and
they
you're
could've.
right. And they could have lost that game by 20, and we're right. I mean, it was just a bizarre basketball game in the sense of, the shooting kept them in the game. The turnovers, they tried to give it away, but you're going, yeah, they could have won that game by 20. And here I'm thinking they should have lost that game by 20, yet they were able to win because they didn't just settle for taking a bunch of threes.
Well, you got to be careful of how you say that.
Oh, yeah?
You're no longer settling for threes. You're attempting threes. Okay. That's the modern paradigm. We no longer settle.
Change my mindset.
Well, I'm sure Pop says the same. I mean, take them. But make sure they're good.
All right, they weren't settling for three. They weren't trying to force a bunch of threes that weren't there. You know what I mean? Because you're right. They could have won that game going away. They also could have got blown out in that game. And yet they hung on and they got a great win. That was a lot of fun to watch. Those final couple of minutes were as entertaining of Spurs basketball as we've seen all year. I mean, you had everything in that.
And let's not take away from what LaMarcus did. I mean, LaMarcus played a hell of a basketball game.
He had a great game, except for at the free throw line. And because he was having a good game, I wrote down in my notes, surprised LMA on the bench at the end.
1 of 4 from the free throw line. That does get a little scary, but I do think there were some matchups involved in there too. But there was a worry that he he felt like he just had the yips there at the line, and you did not want him to stand there and have to, make defining shots like he would have been in a position to do.
But I go back to, knowing that Derek White's coming back for tomorrow's game, and we were talking about yesterday on Game Night San Antonio with Jill Jelnick about, who's going to now go to the bench with Derek White coming back. And, she said that she didn't think it would be outrageous for LaMarcus to maybe start running with the twos. And, of course, that would be outrageous. He is going to start, but I don't know how many times I've heard my co-host Rob Thompson say it doesn't really matter who starts the game. It's who's on the floor at the end. And I did find it interesting that LaMarcus Aldridge was on the bench at the end of the game last night.
I'm sure LaMarcus noticed as well.
I'm
sure he was very, very, very aware that he was not participating, but was in fact watching.
At least he didn't look like Bradley Beal sitting over there on the bench.
Poor Bradley Beal. You make a deal and you get to score 35 points a night. You get the ball as much as you want. I mean, that's what a lot of players in the league beg for. You can take every possible shot, 35 a night, and not a win to show for it. Yeah, that was tough. We saw the Spurs, 6 guys in double figures, and when we see effective Spurs basketball, despite the turnovers and despite some of the offensive kind of sputters and stops, 6 guys in double figures, that is a testament again to the guard play. Lots of turnovers, but lots of good assists. Patty Mills continues to be just an anchor on that second unit, available for points and available for activity. I don't think enough can be said of what Patty has done over the last 10 days. He's not going to be talked about like the young guys. There's nothing going to be, surprise you from Patty. It's just that consistent effort, that FIBA Patty that we've seen. And again, last night, 15 points and timely baskets. What I find so impressive about his game now.
He's a pro. And again, for a guy that I was sure they were going to ship off, I am so glad Patty Mills is still a part of this team. I mean, of all the greatness that Patty Mills has delivered the San Antonio Spurs over the year, I don't know that he's been more valuable to this franchise than he has been this year.
Spurs win. Now it gets a little interesting. The Nugs on the docket, and then we fight all those middling teams as the Spurs inch toward maybe a playoff burst. We'll continue talking Spurs. 6:15, Evan Klosky at Kins 5 will join us as we look at last night's game and look forward to a couple of very important games for the Spurs' longevity. When we come back, we're only a couple of weeks away from February the 14th, that Valentine's Day. We have an interesting possibility for those that are going to celebrate Valentine's at home. We're going to help you put together your menu, and we have an interesting item for it. Hold on, we'll tell you what it is. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
That might be one of the better teases you have ever done, my friend. That was very well done. You know, we've all heard of porch pirates. Maybe you have had a package stolen off of your porch. Jason Minix here for BSG. Have you heard of Amazon Key? It's a new feature from Amazon, and my friends over at BSG have the Amazon Key. So if you order a lot from Amazon, you need this Amazon Key for the peace of mind that packages are not left on your porch. They're actually left inside your garage. It's all on video. It's incredible. It's safe and it's secure. Amazon drivers can open your garage door, and when they do, a camera is going to pop on. Your garage to house door is going to automatically lock, and you're notified in your smart app. So you can pop on the app and watch the driver deliver your package to your garage, inside your garage, and then close the garage door when they leave. It is safe and secure, so you don't have to worry about packages getting stolen off your porch. Your packages will be secure inside your garage. No monthly fee. This is an Amazon feature, and BSG has all the products to make it work. Go to bsgtexas.com for more details. BSG is a great local company. They've been in business in San Antonio over 20 years. Call BSG at 210-877-1222, 877-1222, or the website bsgtexas.com.
The ESPN San Antonio 10K Payday. This hour's winning word is gift. Enter that word now at ESPNSA.com. Another reason it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Great cash, homie.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
A great meal starts with great meat. Rob and Jason here for Tri-County Meat Market, the best meat market in San Antonio. It's locally owned and full service. Tri-County has carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice.
Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game, from beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. Stock up on their Pick 5 for $25. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner Road, and online at tricountymeat.com.
See the best of the best, the area's top high school seniors in the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by HEB. 112 All-Stars from 62 high schools will compete in the annual showdown. Saturday, January 30th at Hero Stadium. Tickets are just $10 in advance, $15 on game day. The San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by HEB. January 30th at Hero Stadium, kickoff at 2 p.m. Tickets available at sanantoniosports.org. Sponsored by HEB, the U.S. Army, and Sierra, PMG, Whataburger, and Frost.
Bodega, 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 Alpha and Omega. Siamese sailors sell celery sandwiches. Sawing about a serving platter.
Hey, Jamie?
Yes?
Did you want to try reading that line on the script there?
Oh, yeah, let's see. You could say big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, that one?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm just not warmed up yet. Shouldn't be long. Detector test. Indecent.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive today.
The marmot mangled my mushy pork pancake.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
So you've got an oil change to do. We can get you everything you need. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Max Life high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $26.99, plus a $5 bonus reward if you're an AutoZone Rewards member. Not a member? We can sign you up fast right here in store or on AutoZone.com. Getting the job done just got easier. Terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It is the Blitz. You're on ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. We'll take you all the way to 7 o'clock. Down for the count tonight. Coming at you at 7 o'clock from the Squared Circle. All things wrestling. Dan Ciolana and Brendan Medina will get you all caught up on the doings. Man, the WWE, and they got a huge deal they just signed. They're making money. There's one of those industries that the pandemic hasn't slowed them down at all. Wrestling is kicking it, and all the news comes at you in about an hour from now. In the 6 o'clock, Evan Klosky will join us. We'll continue talking the Houston Texans, the imminent, or maybe not so. If you heard John McClain earlier of the Houston Chronicle, you can check any of that stuff that he brought us, whether you believe it or not, whether you doubt the source. Our AA Best Bell Buds audio vault always can be used to catch up with what you might have missed here on the Blitz. So we're only 2 weeks away from Valentine's Day.
Is that all?
We're just a little bit over that. It's the 28th. We'll have the first next week, and you got to start planning now.
Yeah. You really should.
Yeah, and we're not. It's hard to go out now. We're all kind of battening down the hatches. We're all just waiting for our vaccine and freedom. But until then, I think a lot of people probably aren't going to be out for a romantic night out. So a lot of people probably are going to be cooking at home. Wouldn't you figure, making a romantic meal at home with all the Valentine kind of themes with chocolate and roses and
I mean, you're right. I mean, with restaurants at 50%, the nicer ones are probably going to be a little harder to get into. Veterans will go out if they're going to do that on a Thursday or a Friday because, you don't want to go out with all the amateur lovebirds, right? So, I mean, you look at that, and others, we see all kinds of things around Valentine's Day, and it's on a Saturday night this year, too. So I came across one today. I don't understand this one. Kraft Macaroni and Cheese has come out with a pink macaroni, and it tastes like candy. Candy-flavored macaroni and cheese.
So is it candy?
It's pink.
Is it candy-flavored cheese?
I'm guessing. I'm
or
guessing.
Is it just some kind of like frosting that you're dipping noodles into?
The photo that they tweeted out looks like your regular bowl of macaroni. Instead of yellow, it's pink, and apparently it's got a candy flavor. Now, it doesn't say what kind of flavor. I mean, I assume, is it cotton candy or is it, it
tastes like Arctic Breeze, Jason.
Arctic Breeze.
Nordic Twist. It tastes pink, like, you buy your favorite sport drink and it tastes purple, or this one tastes green and others taste orange. This one tastes like pink with a weird name.
This just seems like a bad idea.
Oh, it's a terrible idea. It's not just the big. It's not even just because I can see the pink macaroni and cheese. I can see the celebration for maybe for Easter you put a little food coloring in your mac and cheese. We've all had kids that only existed primarily on mac and cheese for several years, so I can.
It's still there.
There's a lot of people that But the thing about it is, if you're one of those types that is really into their mac and cheese, you see pink mac and cheese, you're probably still expecting mac and cheese. You're not expecting a bowl full of candied noodles. Well, so I don't think anybody, unless that's your dessert mac.
Well, I mean, is there a dessert mac? I mean, does it taste like
I think this
berries?
is it.
I mean,
dessert mac.
No, I mean, it just no. I mean, you see so much infusion of foods, right? And some of them look odd. Some of them look like, well, that's brilliant. This one, it's not in the brilliant category. I can't imagine, you see the macaroni, you see it's pink. Like you said, Easter, maybe somebody puts in some food dye, whatever. Okay. But you still, when you take that first bite, you're expecting macaroni and cheese. And if it doesn't taste like macaroni and cheese, you're not going to get the good reaction.
Now, breakfast mac, there's that. dessert mac now. But why not just use noodles and frosting? Why go through the cheese if you want it sweet? Why don't you just go straight for the sweet and just use the noodles? It also occurs to me, have you ever heard of a dessert soup?
No.
See, we're dessert mac and dessert soup. That's what you do on Valentine's Day to impress your significant other.
I've had cake soup.
What? That doesn't even seem possible.
It's just no.
Yeah, for AC's birthday, the first year we went up to Colorado, we had cake soup.
Well, I think that
was,
must
of
be
course, an
something
accident.
else. That's a hybrid of something
called
cake soup.
It is a wonderful, thoughtful birthday ice cream cake thing. That the freezer didn't freeze.
See, a mistake.
But you can't let it go to waste, so we had cake soup.
Okay, so you had a melted ice cream cake.
No, that's a mistake.
It was
cake soup.
Yeah.
You're making,
that's called a milkshake.
Yeah, you're scrambling the broken eggs.
No, it was cake soup.
Cake soup. Well, but have you ever seen a dessert soup? Have you ever actually seen a sweet soup?
No.
I think that's called a milkshake, and we just put a straw in it. Quite frankly.
That's it. No, I kind of want a milkshake, thanks, but I don't want pink macaroni and cheese.
So you said the Valentine's is on the. It's on a Saturday night.
Because
man,
I'm going out of town, so I'm going out. I got to go find a beach, right? Generally, it's for my birthday, not necessarily Valentine's. So I'm booking, and then you realize Valentine's is a Saturday, and it's over a long holiday weekend, marrying into President's Weekend. So hotels are a little bit harder to find in beach communities with longer minimum stays than what you would normally expect, and prices a little bit higher than you would normally expect.
Do they know you're bringing the sweet mac?
You know what? Am I? No, I don't. No.
I appreciate that nickname. You can just call me the sweet mac.
You can't
Coming
call
back.
me that. Let's give away Shane Gillis tickets before we go away.
The sweet mac and some chocolate soup. Let's come back. Let's give some tickets away. Shane Gillis is coming to the LOL all weekend long. We had him on the other day. You're hearing his bits all consistently here on ESPN San Antonio. If you want to go, get on the Kia Boston Bank phone lines. 656-3776 is the number to dial. And if you're caller number 10 to 656-3776 to 656 ESPN, you too will be enjoying Shane Gillis amongst the cool kids over at LOL all weekend long. Coming back, grilling with the Blitz. Let's talk about some seared meat and offer a $50 gift card. Hold on tight. We're coming back here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Cowboys hired Dan Quinn to take over the defense.
You can do something with Jalen to get him back to being a productive player, because that is something that Mike Nolan didn't do. Let Jalen go, stop the run, rush the passer. Jalen doesn't need to be back in coverage and playing 98% of the snaps like he did this year. Get him dialed in and focused, and maybe he gets back to being the kind of player that he was that got him the contract when he and Leighton Vander Esch looked like they were going to be two of the best linebackers in the NFL.
The Blitz, weekdays 4 to 7.
The big game is finally here, and you can follow all the action at betonline.net. Tampa, the first team in history to play for the title on their home field, is currently a 5-point underdog against Kansas City, looking for back-to-back titles for the first time in almost 20 years. It's the GOAT against his successor. Check out all the props this week at betonline.net, including game MVP, winning margin of victory, and the length of the national anthem. Always available online or your mobile device. Visit betonline.net today. Bring the game home at betonline.net.
Pros bring something extra to every job. Now at the Home Depot, they also get something extra. Pro Extra, our free loyalty program built for pros just like you. Members earn perks with every dollar spent, like Pro Extra Dollars, a tool rental credit, and more. New members get $20 off their next in-store purchase of $200 or more just for signing up. Learn more at homedepot.com/Pro Extra. New year, more rewards, Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Before we rodeo San Antonio, mosey on over to Dietz Tractor. We're busting out of the chutes early with a stock full of LS tractors. And this is no 8-second ride. Take your time and choose from a field that includes compact and utility tractors at low prices. Excel in your field with LS Tractor, 6-time winner of the EDA Dealer's Choice Award. Backed by a limited 6-year warranty, LS Tractors will give you more standard features and more performance for less money. These are some of the hottest tractors around, and Dietz Tractor wants to sell them to you today at unbelievable prices. Dietz Tractor, where you get more tractor for less.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/news. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
O'Reilly. It's O Rewards bonus points month at O'Reilly Auto Parts, which means you'll save money and reach your next reward even faster. Earn double O Rewards points on 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil, just $28.95, and get a $10 gift card after mail-in rebate. Collect 150 points and get a $5 reward. Don't miss O Rewards bonus points month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money. But then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Oh, looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
This is Ryan Tannehill. You're listening to the San Antonio Sports Leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. On the go at ESPNSA.com. If you go there, you can watch us live. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. James Pledger driving this boat all the way till 7 o'clock this hour. Evan Klosky of Kens 5 Sports going to join us. In about 15 minutes, we'll look back on a fine Spurs win and look forward to a nice little run of Western Conference foes, the likes of which we should fare rather well, we would think. Evan will join us in about 15 minutes as we look forward. But it's time for our weekly. You know, every Thursday at 6 o'clock, we give away a $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. And all we ask in return from that winner is to post a picture of what you've been cooking over the last 7 days at ESPNSA.com. You upload a picture. Jason and I peruse what is turning into a several-page menu of fine meats. And we choose what we like this week. This week, you know, it's one of those, this is kind of a down week. We've had good weekend weather. I mean, it's certainly been grilling weather. You are certainly an example of that. If you got your Traeger, you can grill in any weather, you know, but even those of us slobs that don't have the Traeger, this has been good weather. And we're coming toward one of the bigger grilling weekends of the year for the big game, just a week away. So all of this is in prep for what looks to be a fine grilling weekend for all of us that celebrate the big game at home instead of going out. Looking at what we saw this week, we've got, you know, you always have your standards. We always get a brisket, always get some sausage, always get some sort of big steak. But then there's the ingenuity, the types that go and either buy a pre-made or create their own kind of amalgam. And that's kind of our winner this week.
Well, and again, it's a avocado hamburger, which is, you know, kind of an offshoot, although it's done differently than what they do actually sell already pre-made at Tri-County Meat Market, and that's the avocado bomb. But Todd has an avocado hamburger, you know, seasoned to your taste, bacon, fill it with your cheddar and your cream cheese, chives, bacon crumbs, garlic, and steak seasoning. And he adds blueberry. I'm not sure about the blueberry, but the photo looks incredible.
I didn't read that entire description. I had stopped before I saw blueberry. I can see the sweet and savory playing against each other. I'm down. I would try, but sadly, I can't, as I'm allergic to avocados. What I did find impressive, though, for those of us that are meat bomb veterans, those that are used to cooking with something that's stuffed inside of a hamburger ball. It is difficult to nearly impossible not to lose all the cheese on the inside of the meat if you don't cook it right. Now, you don't lose the flavor, you just lose the actual look of the cheese. It normally just kind of disappears. And Todd has mastered that. Inside that avocado is a perfectly formed cheese ball. On the outside, a perfectly crispy, good-looking meatball. I'll tell you what, looks like an expert. He might be one of those Traeger types.
Well, he might be one of those Traeger types, and I will tell you, because it's like tonight. I was over at Tri-County earlier today, and I got for my dinner tonight. They've got some pre-made stuff that's already there, and I'm getting their brisket and cheese filled, wrapped in bacon poppers. It's in a bell pepper popper and a couple of their steak poppers. And you're right, on some of those the cheese is going to come out, especially as you're trying to cook the bacon, right? But on those avocado bombs, when I've done mine. Myself, not the ones that I bought, but you take the pit out of the avocado, put the cheese in there, close it back up, then you wrap it with the hamburger meat, then you wrap it in bacon, and quite honestly, at that point, there's nowhere for it to go. It can't escape, so the cheese does stay in there.
I think the key being that avocado pit holding it. I have had varying success. Remember when we went up to Minneapolis for the Super Bowl, we were introduced to what is known as a Juicy Lucy.
Yes, sir.
Which she's a nice girl, but no,
yeah.
the hamburger, it's basically hamburger, a couple of thin hamburger patties with molten, which is the best way to describe it, cheese that they use that literally comes with a warning that, when you bite into this, there's going to be very hot cheese that explodes into your hand and your mouth if you don't wait. But that's on purpose. But I've never been able to keep the cheese solid or just barely beyond melting and have it disappear into the hamburger meat.
And I've tried this a couple of times, trying to do a Juicy Lucy, and I haven't either on my grill. And we work with a guy who's actually from Minnesota, and he said that you will never get it done. You got to do it on a flat top, and you got to fry it, because there's something about searing the edges that you just can't do on a grill. And I've made some really good cheesy burgers, overly cheesy burgers, trying to create it on the grill, whether I'm using the Kamado or the Traeger or the propane. I've tried it them all. I can't do it without it being on a flat top, and I don't have one of those flat top grills. I could do it inside, but I don't have one of those flat top deals.
As we head closer and closer to the big game, the grilling kind of kicks up, and it looked like we had the possibility of the perfect grilling scenario with buffalo wings and Kansas City ribs and the Green Bay cheese and all the comings together. Tampa Bay kind of threw a wrench in that if you wanted to represent what the fine grilling cuisine of Tampa. But I figure you'll do some seafood or maybe some Yardbird to go along with it. But we know you just about are going to have to do your ribs some Kansas City ribs next weekend because, well, you got to. It's the big game and Kansas City's playing. So when you head over to Tri-County this week, those are the guys you want to talk to about doing ribs, both beef or pork. You talk to a butcher who understands the meat. If you're not the best at doing ribs, and I'm one of those guys. I don't do ribs very well. My brother does. I normally let him do it. And if you're one of those types, that's when you go to Tri-County and ask for a little bit of advice. Normally, everything I've gotten from them has worked perfectly.
It has. And one of the other great things about like ribs next week, because I already know I'm going to do a rack of ribs, and I'm going to do some shrimp, the shrimp part being the Tampa Bay. In fact, I'm going to do the pork rind crusted shrimp. Did those before. They were fantastic. So it's going to be solid next weekend. But it's just Joanna and I. So, but at Tri-County, if you say, can I just get a half rack of ribs? You want a half back of St. Louis or baby backs? They'll do it for you. So you I know Pledge doesn't like that because a lot of times he'll get some ribs when I do the full rack of ribs. But yeah, you can over there and say, I just need a half rack of ribs. They'll do it for you.
Why would you just do a half rack of ribs? It's the same effort, man. Those things will hold for a day or two.
That's it. I mean, when I do ribs, like I did some ribs a couple weeks ago, and I wasn't happy with how they turned out. So then I had to do another rack just for redemption, which were spectacular. But you're eating those things for 3 days.
Well, that's what you call an RPP. as Grilling with the Blitz continues every Thursday. Todd, congratulations, man. That avocado bomb looks fantastic. Use your $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market in good health and send us another picture. You never know. If you want to win that $50 gift card, it is so easy to do. You're already doing it. Send us a picture of your meat. Tell us what you did and how you did it, and you too could be just like Todd. When we come back, no, I'm not a New York Met former employee. I am Rob Thompson of the Blitz, and we're coming back with Evan Klosky, he of Ken's 5, and we're going to look at a Spurs spectacular win and continue to talk with you, Texan fan, about what appears to be a Deshaun Watson exit strategy. The Texans hire David Culley and Deshaun Watson, by every account but his, must not be happy. Got a lot to talk about, and we want you to stay with us. We'll be right back with Evan Klosky here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
And, we were talking about Tri-County Meat Market, everything they have in the ribs and everything you're going to want for next weekend. Maybe it's a brisket. You want to do a tri-tip or a picanha. They've got everything you need at Tri-County to up your grilling game. Beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, those poppers I was talking about, so much more. The Pick 5 for $25. You can go over there and stock up for one hell of a Super Bowl party.
Fill your pantry with the 5 for $25 and do a little bit of experimentation this week in preparation for next.
Ooh.
If you've never done a picanha, if you've never done a tri-tip, give it a shot this weekend. You're not going to find a better cut of meat or better advice than Tri-County Meat Market. Walk in and try something new and surprise your football friends next week for a big game party with the finest meats you can have. Head over to Tri-County Meat Market, the expertise of a well-known and well-trained butcher, locally sourced meats, and maybe try some sausages. These guys take great pride in the sausage they create. Peppery, perfect, full of pork, and all the goodness you can find. And last week we got a special on the wedding sausage coming out of Falls City. It was quite good. Head over to either one of the Tri-County Meat Market locales over on Huebner Road inside of 1604. Head out to Ralph Fair Road. Either place, if you're a first responder, you walk in those doors, you get 10% off. Police, firemen, EMTs, of course, and of all of our standing military. Tri-County Meat Market has 2 great locations, or you can head over to the website, tricountymeat.com.
Sundays are for the grill. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 in the morning to 1. Chop it up and grill with former and current Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 to 1 every Sunday.
See the best of the best, the area's top high school senior players in the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, presented by HEB, January 30th at Hero Stadium. Current NFL pros Marcus Davenport and Josh Reynolds played here. It's the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game, 2 p.m. January 30th. Tickets just $10 in advance or $15 on game day. On sale at sanantoniosports.org. Sponsored by HEB, the U.S. Army, P&G, and Zero, Whataburger, Frost, Thomas J. Henry, and Generations Federal Credit Union.
I want the house.
What? All the money I spent and you think you should get?
Why shouldn't I? All the sacrifices I made for your precious little business.
That business paid for everything you have.
The business I was never paid to work for?
Oh, don't even go there.
Oh, I'm going there.
Divorce can be ugly, especially for your spouse. Call the Kalfas Law Group today. Prepare yourself before they do. 212-6969. That's 212-6969. The Kalfas Law Group, the group that specializes in divorce.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Shane Gillis is coming to LOL Comedy Club this weekend. Get out and laugh with Shane Gillis, who was recently named an Up Next comic at Comedy Central's 2019 Cluster Fest in San Francisco, and a new face at Just for Laughs in Montreal. LOL Comedy Club, where San Antonio laughs out loud. With 6 shows this weekend at LOL Comedy Club, see Shane Gillis and laugh out loud. 1 show on Thursday, 2 shows on Friday and Saturday, and 1 show on Sunday. Get your tickets now at improvtx.com. That's improvtx.com.
You love Southern Recipe small batches, bold pork rind flavors. Whether it's their spicy dill, Korean kimchi barbecue, or pasilla chili cheese, they've got the keto-friendly protein-packed snack that crushes all others. Want to win $5,000 plus Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for a whole year? Enter at porkrinds.com right now. Porkrinds.com. Plus, you'll have a chance to win a one-on-one conversation with a Pro Football Hall of Famer. And while you're at HEB, grab a bag of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds.
The Rocket Mortgage Super Bowl Squares Sweepstakes is back. It's the largest official game of Super Bowl Squares ever, with millions of dollars in prizes, and best of all, it's free to enter. Every score change, someone wins $50,000. Just enter for free at rocketmortgagesquares.com, and it could be you. Touchdowns, field goals, safeties, extra points. Every single score change will draw one lucky winner from the square to win $50,000. Plus, 2 grand prize winners will win $500,000 they could use toward their dream home. One way to enter, 2 ways to win. See rules and enter for free at rocketmortgagesquares.com. Then tune into the Super Bowl on February 7th to see if you bring home some dough. Rocket Mortgage, official mortgage sponsor of Super Bowl 55.
No purchase necessary. Legal residents of 50 U.S. and D.C. of age of majority. Ends 2/4/2021, 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLS number 3030. The NFL entities as defined in the official rules have not offered to sponsor this promotion in any way.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. You're on the go, ESPNSA.com. I find locale. You can listen a variety of ways. You can go back into our audio vault, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Spurs win last night. What was an entertaining game and start a nice little run of conference foes that are important toward a playoff win if you can squeak out a couple of wins. Denver coming up next. Let's talk with one who has got a fine Twitter feed during the Spurs games. If you're not following Evan Klosky on Twitter, you're just really not all that caught up, are you? I'm one of the cool kids that does. I'd like to welcome on Evan Klosky of Kens 5 Sports. Welcome aboard, Evan. How's your day going?
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Nice plug there for the Twitter. So it's going a lot better than it was 1 minute ago. So thank you.
Well, and again, I mean, Rob just discovered your Twitter about a week ago.
Just 2 weeks ago, I found Twitter, so I think that's pretty good.
Although, what scared me last night was as I'm watching my Twitter feed, you and Ryan Eagle had the same tweet, like literally seconds apart. They were back to back in my Twitter feed. And if Joe's catching up to you, I got to say, you had an off night last night.
It was very scary, but because of that tweet, I did just become the best man at his next wedding. So that's big news. That's just how it works.
Oh, is that it? You're at his next wedding. I like that. Although I was there when he actually popped the question. So, we'll fight about that one. But I think his brother's going to end up winning.
I saw it on Twitter.
That was Facebook, Rob.
Is that what that was? The face Twitters? He is Evan Klosky. And this is ESPN San Antonio. Now, as we peruse your Twitter feed, and one of the things that I saw last night or earlier today that really kind of piqued my interest, and we look at what the Spurs did last night without diving too deep in the numbers, 6 guys in double figures. And you look at what how the ball moved around, and you still had you had 20 turnovers. We had 6 guys in double figures. And then I followed that up with a tweet that really kind of defined what the Spurs are doing right now. And that's the usage rate. And for those of y'all that are unaware what the NBA usage rate, it's essentially how many plays are they running for you? How many times are you involved in the offense? And most NBA teams are looking for you to be a part of about 15% or about of the plays as they spread things around. The Spurs all average nearly 20 or above percentage in the usage rate. Everybody is consistently involved in this offense.
Yeah, it's really beautiful to watch. And also, if you look at the usage rate, again, without digging into the numbers and looking at last year, not such a dramatic difference in what you're seeing. So you're seeing Keldon Johnson kind of replace what Bryn Forbes did last year. Nobody's complaining about that. Then what you also see, though, is DeMar DeRozan is around about 27%. Now, that's a lot, right? But if you look at his career numbers and his usage rate, it's actually one of the lowest that we're seeing in like 8 years from him. So DeMar, and when we talk about him sort of growing with this young group and if he can fit, what he has done is he is allowing this young group, especially DeJounte Murray, whose usage rate is ticking up. He's allowing these guys to really take a little bit more control and him have less emphasis on the offense. And what does that do? It also allows him to facilitate more. And it really plays into a strength of his as he's getting into the back end of his career, which I think is something that he should really be looking towards in his next contract, because something that the Spurs do really well, which I don't know if any other NBA team in the league would give DeMar DeRozan the keys to the car like the Spurs do, but his decreased usage rate is actually way more efficient for everybody else around him. And on a night like last night, we saw just everybody doing their part.
Yeah, they were, and it was one of those weird games, Evan, and we were talking earlier, Rob and I, that, the Spurs, if they don't turn the ball over, could win that game by 20, but if they weren't shooting lights out, they lose that game by 20. It was just kind of a weird game, and then you go, how do they beat the Celtics and the Lakers and the Clippers, but then lose to the G League Rockets and Minnesota?
It's just like what we've been talking about last year with this team, and they don't have a reason for it, neither do we. But for some reason, they love to just rise to the occasions. Then what happens? They get a few big wins under their belt. They start feeling good, and then they have to get motivated for a matchup where they're supposed to win, and they just come out flat. I mean, last night, look, it's funny because the last time we talked, we were talking after the Warriors game, which was an outlier of a performance on the bad side of the spectrum. Now, if you look at this performance, you're probably trending towards the outlier of the good performances on where the Spurs will be after we get through 72 games. I mean, they shot 56% from the field. I think they were 80% from near the rim or in the paint. Like the highest number before that was in the high 50s or in the low 60s. So they were finishing buckets near the rim, which is something that's been infuriating to watch at some points this season. And that's really kind of how they carry themselves. And again, something we mentioned is that they continue to play great transition defense. And Pop is actually showing some ability to maybe sit LaMarcus a little bit more down the stretch. We saw him there late offensively, but who came in after a timeout? Ya came in for defense, and he's flipping them a little bit. And it took a while before DeMar and LaMarcus got back into that game. I think it was the 5-minute mark. So, and that unit, that kind of lineup of doom was doing great against the Jason Tatums of the world and Kemba Walker.
Evan Klosky joining us here on the Blitz as we look back to a Spurs nice win over the Boston Celtics. Now, they got a little bit of a break with the Pelicans. They get a game postponed. I think the rest certainly helped them as they move forward this week. And then we see Denver coming up next with what we saw last night. And it looks like the return of Derek White. Where do you see him landing? Is he going to come off the start on the second unit like the only time we saw him this year? And as he progresses, who will he replace if he's going to move into the first unit?
So you would have to assume that he's going to be in the second unit just because that's the only thing we have going for us, that we got that one game and that's what they did. So I assume he's gonna play that role. Having said that, who he replaces, I think the consensus is Lonnie Walker. I'm of the debate that maybe Keldon Johnson should move to the second rotation. And that's not to say you wouldn't close with Keldon Johnson, because as we've seen, his energy is just infectious and you need him to close games. But my reasoning here is that Keldon Johnson and DeMar kind of do the same thing. The only difference is DeMar is way better of a passer than Keldon. Keldon has the blinders on. When he's going to the rim, he is going and he don't care who the heck is in front of him. But the thing is, if you can remove Keldon and put him in the second lineup, you're probably going to just kill some of the usage rate from Rudy Gay, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world, offensively speaking. And then you can bring Derek White in. And I think that kind of allows maybe Lonnie to kind of have a more defined role. I think he's kind of right now, he has potential to be better, but he's kind of a 3-and-D guy. So, you can also bring Vassell in to that rotation and you can tinker all around. But the growing consensus is that Lonnie will come into the second unit. I just don't know if that's the move that I personally would land on, but it's probably the move we can expect tomorrow.
You know, Evan, as you say that, and you might be selling me on this because I don't like the idea of Keldon coming off the bench, but you use the term energy, and it doesn't matter who starts, it's who finishes. And you go back to Manu Ginobili and all those years of bringing that energy and scoring off the bench. And Keldon could be that guy. And until you use the word energy, I don't like the idea of Keldon not in the starting lineup. He is a guy that is a rising star. But I do think you make a good point with the energy that he would bring off the bench that way. You're going to make me rethink that, damn it.
Evan the thing is that we all get caught up on like coming off the bench and whatnot, but really it doesn't matter where you start in the game or whether you start or you come off the bench. It's who you're going to close with. And no matter what, Manu closed those games, right? It didn't matter that he didn't start. He was there to finish it. And that's the guy that Keldon Johnson, I think, is going to be in his career. Now, I think he's going to be a long-term starter. But having said that, with Derek White coming into the picture and Keldon Johnson, his on-off statistics aren't great in that starting unit, it just might be a tinker worth exploring. But we'll see.
No, as we're talking, the Spurs literally just sent out the injury report for tomorrow, and Derek White is still listed as out. I expected him to be in there, but the fact that now I know that could change, but I'm a little surprised the day before the game he's still listed as out.
Yeah, and Pop did say over the weekend, so maybe technically he meant the next game after Denver, but nonetheless, in the end, there's really no rush to bring him back. I mean, they got to play the Grizzlies on Saturday. So my thought is that no matter what, was he really going to play the back-to-back? So why not just wait one more day and let him sit and get him onto a normal schedule where you have Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and you start getting into a flow before you get into the back-to-back against the Warriors in a couple of weeks.
Evan Klosky right here on ESPN San Antonio as we look at the Spurs' nice win. They sit at 10-8 right now, number 7 in the West. Denver coming up on Friday, then a tandem, a doubleheader against the Grizzlies. Certainly teams that are wrapped around them in the standings and the expectation that Derek White will return. And as we wait for him, let's talk about Devin Vassell and his play last night. Now, I've seen better games for sure, but he has, for lack of a better term, just a nose for the ball defensively. Sometimes I just think it's out of sheer luck and happenstance that he's in the right passing lane at the right time. But, you can't coach that. And when you've got that, you can't hardly keep him off the court either. He keeps playing. He played through some tough offense by being that defensive stalwart that I think has been such a big surprise to Spurs fans.
He is phenomenal. And Brad Stevens even mentioned it last night that if the Spurs didn't take Devin Vassell, that the Celtics would have taken Devin Vassell, that his defensive instincts are off the charts. And you see it even in a game yesterday where you look at his stat line. It was not perfect. It wasn't one of his greatest games. It was not. But he had a play there. I think it was around like 80. It made it 86-85 when he hit a three-pointer. But what he does so well is he recognizes when his teammates defensively are in trouble. And there was a time where Yak was in a one-on-one matchup with Kemba Walker. And you're like, oh, boy, okay, this is going to end terribly. And Devin Vassell not only is wise enough to communicate to his teammates, hey, my guy is trying to clear for Kemba to ISO, then he jumps Kemba, so it scares him out of the drive. And then Kemba's like, oh, well, Devin Vassell's over here, so his guy's going to be wide open in the paint. Then a half a second later, there's Vassell to contest against his guy. Like, he is unbelievable. And for a rookie to have sort of this knowledge and also the physical attributes to kind of have these like linky robotic arms that he has, he is going to be a nightmare when he continues to develop his offensive game. He's already shooting like 40% from three. It's great. Right now, he is a phenomenal 3-and-D player. Potentially, he can be amazing if he can develop off the dribble and hit some of these jumpers and finish around the rim. Right now, he's just not strong enough. Obviously, the Spurs are going to bulk him up. You saw Keldon Johnson last year, what he looks like this year. I'm confident San Antonio will figure that out. But once he gets a little bit more muscle, once he gets a little bit more confident within the arc, the offensive game is now going to just add to the tremendous defensive abilities that he has. And it's why that second unit is so dangerous.
Evan Klosky, good stuff, man. And Denver Nuggets tomorrow night, a completely different challenge with the Joker. Can that 108 points per 100 possessions defensive run continue? And if it does, well, Spurs might be in for a little run. Evan, thanks for stopping by, man. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you as always.
Hey, coming back, let's talk Texans. Deshaun Watson imminent to depart. We don't know for sure. It doesn't look good. David Culley, their new head coach, and another hiring today. We know who will be running that offense. We'll tell you who that is. And talk Texans next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Maybe it's not you, but a friend or a family member calls you. They got arrested. They need to get out of jail fast. You know, the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds. 210-225-2121 is the phone number. Or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You can even start the bonding process there online. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, while it might sound good, make sure you really understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available. They offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 to get you out fast. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between, AA Best Bail Bonds. License number 149. Call 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Show us your meat. On the grill. Take a picture and upload it to ESPNSA.com, and you could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market if you do. Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies and our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kilbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 San Antonio area locations, all open and all practicing strict social distancing guidelines. Come eat, drink, and enjoy safely at all 4 Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar locations. And get over to the newest location, Slackers Medical Center, now opening at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community. Nurses, doctors, frontline workers, and staff, we thank you. Slackers Medical Center, located at Fredericksburg and Medical Center, now open at 7 a.m. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info.
Pros bring something extra to every job. Now at the Home Depot, they also get something extra. Pro Extra, our free loyalty program built for pros just like you. Members earn perks with every dollar spent, like Pro Extra Dollars, a tool rental credit, and more. New members get $20 off their next in-store purchase of $200 or more just for signing up. Learn more at homedepot.com/Pro Extra. New year, more rewards, Pro Extra, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Well, San Antonio, it's official. 2020 is hindsight, and it couldn't happen soon enough. Chip Ingram here from the Roop Home. As 2021 takes over, we're excited for NFL playoffs, the new look Spurs, and the prospect of life without masks and curfews and daily briefings. I want to thank you personally for your support through one hell of a year, and invite you to keep coming back to the Roop Home, located at 281 in Redland Road. See you at the Roop.
It is the Blitz here on ESPN San Antonio. Thanks for stopping by with us. Don't mind them brake lights. You'll get home. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. When you get the opportunity, I want you to head over to ESPNSA.com. Get there before the big game on February the 7th. And we got a fine contest for you. You can pick the game, the final score of the big game. You could win a whole bunch of money. Go get yourself registered there at ESPNSA.com. Our big game coverage brought to you by Dietz Tractor starts all next week. Well, we're filling this docket up. When we might not be there, you won't know the difference. I got interviews coming right and left. I mean, we got – and here's the sad thing, Jason.
It starts tomorrow.
Yeah, it's starting
DeMarcus
already.
Ware. Yeah,
that's right. DeMarcus Ware, Dallas Cowboy legend, will be here just after 4 o'clock tomorrow. The cavalcade of sports heroes and ne'er-do-wells and almost famouses will start tomorrow and run all the way through next week. Facebook memories are a wonderful thing and a terrible thing altogether. My Facebook memories today popped us back to Miami last year, and it was the press party out on the bay there. Remember, that was one fantastic party, and as I saw it pop up, and I remembered that
Rob,
big
I don't
thing.
remember.
Well, Jason and I'm just talking with him.
It's just us.
I saw that big thing of paella, and honest to goodness, Jason, it made me think that was really the last. A year ago this week was the last time I had any fun. It's been a year.
Well, I'm sure
You
your
know what
wife
I mean?
appreciates you saying
Well,
that.
no, I mean, what I'm saying is that was the last time I traveled. That was the last time we did anything, even remotely out of the norm. And it's been a full year on a day when that last year's press party was one of the best we've attended. It was a good one.
It was a good because it was Miami. I'm curious which photo popped up in your memories. There's one with you sitting in a chair that I hope wasn't one of those that popped up in the memories. Yeah, because Lord knows at that point you had no memory of what was going on. So I mean, maybe you needed that as a bit of a refresher. And I'm with you because you see those memories, especially for me in the concerts that are popping up. My last trip for fun, I traveled moving a kid to Phoenix and Seattle for a memorial service, So I mean, was last year about this time. Well, this year we were in Miami, but for my birthday, we were in Vegas, and that was right at the beginning of was it safe to go? Yeah, it's safe to go. It's good, and all that. And this year, I mean, this will be the first time in 6 years I haven't gone to Vegas for my birthday, but I am going to go find a beach. Going back to where we were about a year ago this time. Because I had some fun down there.
Don't step on a pop top as you head toward the Florida beaches. The Texans continue to make news. I guess, it's very hard to separate this entire situation, but it is odd. Because if you look at each individual action, you go, well, I can see that. But for one primary. The Texans, they hired Nick Casario, which by every measure in a vacuum was a good hire. Good hire. The guy has the lineage and he has everything to build a good team. So the next step was to placate Deshaun Watson, and that is where the error was made. Despite, and if you were with us earlier and you missed John McClain, you want to go back and listen to that because he does give you a pretty good timeline of how things kind of progressed. By his account and by others, Cal McNair texted Deshaun, apologized to him that he wasn't part of the search. But I think that was basically the last time they spoke. That was it. And then they went out and started hiring coaches willy-nilly, and now Deshaun wants to leave.
And again, you go back to it. And I know John McClain oftentimes will rip the national media because, they'll have something a little different than he does. Although John was the first to report on Culley, and I did see all the national types giving John McClain the proper credit for breaking that story. Although the day before, John said he expected it to be Leslie Frazier because, Leslie had a really good interview. I don't know anything about David Culley to be able to say good hire, bad hire. Seems like a good guy that's been around the NFL for a long time, but is he a head coach? You go back to Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips is a great coordinator, was not a good head coach. I don't know if David Culley is that, but if Deshaun wants out and the Houston Texans have decided they can't do anything with Deshaun to change his mind, then I'm not going to go spend a lot of money on a big name coach. Let me go hire a 65-year-old guy who's not going to be here long. I mean, that going with the 65-year-old isn't kind of a long-term plan. I'm not sure what James Pledger is doing, but he's turning into the Texans Unabomber in our studio. If you're watching on our Facebook feed, I think just the idea, he doesn't have a paper bag in the studio apparently, but that is where Texans fan is. They're at right now. I mean, he's still wearing the Deshaun jersey, and I guess now it's okay. But I mean, you look at this, and I guess the idea is, all right, if we trade Deshaun, or even if we don't trade Deshaun, because of the mess that Bill O'Brien left, we have no picks and we have no money under the cap. So we're going to suck for a couple more years anyway. But we just signed this dude to a $150 million contract. We won't be competitive again until the end of that deal. So why go spend all this money on a head coach and a young up-and-coming coach who isn't going to have success, because we're going to fire Culley anyway. None of this makes sense, but that's the only reason I think you go with a David Culley, is you're hiring him knowing that you're going to fire him. Of all the coaches that got hired on this hiring cycle, all 7 of them, based on Matt Campbell's odd press conference and the fact that he's going to Detroit and losing Matt Stafford, I think Dan Campbell is the first of this group to get fired. Until I heard that David Culley is the guy. Right. Now David Culley is going to be the first of this group to get fired.
John McClain seems to hold out a little bit of hope that there's still a chance they can sway Deshaun to come back. Now, it would have to be a ridiculously concerted effort, because it just appears by all that have been involved that he was left out of the process that he felt like he needed to play a role in. And once they didn't include him, that he decided he was out. Now, we have to talk about the situation, though. And while Deshaun holds a lot of sway, I mean, the guy is got well over 15% of that of the salary cap locked up under his name. The good news is they've already paid a lot of his salary cap, his signing bonus, so that's already gone. It's a contract that's hard to move, but not impossible. But at the same time, the Texans can just say, well, I'm sorry you're not happy. We're not going to move you. And if you don't show up, the fines will be ridiculous. The Texans do have some hand here. They can make things uncomfortable, but you got to figure they've got to make an effort to keep him. You'd like to think that, the Culley will be there. They hired a new quarterback type guy, Pep Hamilton, who's worked with stars before. Sure. Looked like a guy that Deshaun might want to work with. They got other hires to come. It looks like by every account, Culley might be a guy that, Deshaun kind of knows. So they're doing things to make him happy, but they're not keeping him involved in the process. And it just seems counterintuitive to do it that way and then try to salvage something now.
And it is kind of strange to think, well, why would they have him involved in the process? But if he wants that involvement, but not making those decisions, and if I'm Deshaun, wouldn't you rather be more worried about who's on your roster as opposed to who's coaching you? I'd be more worried about who my teammates are as opposed to who's in some meeting somewhere. It does seem, and maybe he does want some of that involvement. It's interesting that one of the things that John McClain said is that his agent wants him in New York or somewhere else. And, 25 years ago, oh yeah, go to the big city and get all those marketing dollars, but that's gone. I mean, the internet and social media has taken that away. I mean, you've got fans everywhere, and you're going to get the same commercial deals in Houston, in Oklahoma City, in San Antonio. If you want them and you're that kind of star, you're going to get those endorsement deals. It's about Houston. There's something about the organization that does not sit well with Deshaun. And from September, when he's on a podium crying after signing a $156 million deal, long after the D-Hop trade, and Bill O'Brien is still the coach, and they haven't started the season crappy yet, to now, and you wonder what the hell has gone on. It really is insane. I don't know if there's, divorce mediation for NFL players and franchises, but do they need to go to some sort of mediation? Do we need to get them some counseling? Is there something that Dr. Phil might be able to step in and do? I mean, you've got the mayor of Houston tweeting out. It is amazing that it broke so quickly.
Yeah, less than 6 months. What was the contract signed back in September? $154 million deal by my count. And now it appears to be over, but it's not completely over. I mean, there's still there is that holdout hope that they can convince him that they're doing everything for his benefit. But I just can't see that happening. And I think that's where my concern here is, first of all, if you want to make things uncomfortable, you can for Deshaun, and it could get really ugly really quick. But on the other side of this, if you go trying to make a deal, he has the right to refuse the deal that you've manufactured. And I asked McClain, well, do you just send his agent, Malagueta, out there to go make the deal so I don't try to put everything in line, and then I come to you and say, well, here's the deal we got, and you say, no, I don't want to go there, and I'm not going to agree to that. So why even do that unless you have some kind of relationship? Or you just put it in his yard. You want to make the deal, go get it, and we'll approve it as such. And if not, guess what? You're going to be paying some fines. You're going to be a Texan and be unhappy about it because we don't have to do anything.
Well, and the fines cannot be waived by the team anymore under
Not
the
anymore.
new CBA. So, I mean, if he does try to hold out and that sort of thing, it's interesting because, let's say New York and Miami seem to be the two teams that he's linked to the most. If you're Miami or New York, that's the only two real teams that you feel like you're bidding against, right? And if you're, which one wants him the most is going to be the one that overpays. But your first couple offers aren't going to be ridiculous because they feel like the Texans don't have any leverage in this case. But what if, say, Detroit gets into the mix and Deshaun says, I don't want to go to Detroit, but they offer him the best deal. Well, look, man, I'm not trading you to New York. They're only offering this, and we're not trading you for that. We're not going to do that deal. So you either take the best offer that we can get or go down to your locker room and get ready for practice. You're going to stay with the Houston Texans. I mean, and, you wonder if it will come to a head like that where Deshaun then has to decide, do I want to go to somewhere I don't want to be? How badly do I want out of Houston, I guess is what it boils down to. Is he willing to waive that no trade clause so they can get the best deal possible? Or is he going to hold him over the barrel to try to get to his destination? I don't think the NFL will work like the NBA, where James Harden wanted to get to a specific destination, or we've seen other players force their way to specific destinations, Anthony Davis. It doesn't work that way in the NFL. It hasn't yet. Deshaun's trying to change that mold, but I have a feeling the owners will fight that.
This has all got every other owner very concerned. If I'm an owner of another team, I'm watching this, especially if I've got a young, high-dollar quarterback. I'm watching to see what they're doing, and if for no other reason, not to repeat the mistakes that they've made.
Well, in essence, it's like Deshaun has tried to enter the transfer portal, but he hasn't figured out where he's allowed to go. And then when you enter the transfer portal, you can't go to teams within these conferences and all those ridiculous rules, right? If Deshaun is able to pull this off, it's a game changer for the NFL. And then, I look at like Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, apparently bickering mainly over years of length on a contract. If Deshaun pulls this off, the years don't matter. And, to a degree, player loyalty, the players have never had that extreme loyalty from teams. But you've always seemed to get it from players. And this is the ugly business side of football. Something happened, and all you people with a Deshaun Watson jersey, and you're so mad at Deshaun. And look, Deshaun deserves some responsibility here. I don't think fans will start hating Deshaun for this unless we find out some dirt after he's gone, which you get a feeling there's two sides to this story. But is there some dirt somewhere there? And, Cal McNair and Jack Easterby will take all the arrows initially and probably forever for that matter. But, players start doing this, that pisses off the fan base and that hurts your marketing.
It's going to be interesting to see the percentage of season ticket holders that will turn in their tickets and eat the PSL if, in fact, Deshaun Watson does get fired, because I think that there's an anger out there, the likes of which I haven't seen with Houston Texan fan. It feels like enough is enough. The good news is it ain't completely over, but, I see as I sit here watching our YouTube feed and see James Pledger sitting in that beautiful white and blue Texans jersey with a number 4 on it. Those of you that have it, eventually you'll wear it again. I know if you had a DeMarcus Ware jersey, you put it back on eventually, right? You put that on. He had to go for his reasons. He had to leave and go get a ring. And at some point, they all come home and they all come back to ESPN San Antonio. Right, Jason?
Well, yeah, DeMarcus Ware will be on the Blitz tomorrow, 4:05. And you look at that, DeMarcus is a little different situation because we knew he was at the end and he didn't force his way out and didn't wreck things. I mean, imagine if Dak were trying to do this, right now, what Cowboy fans would say about Dak. It would be completely different than what they're saying about Deshaun Watson. Right now, we're all blaming Jack Easterby. If Dak was trying to force his way out after he signed that mega deal, we would all turn on Dak Prescott. We would. It wouldn't be on Jerry because we don't have this ridiculous Jack Easterby guy who ultimately is going to become the face of the franchise. J.J. Watt leaves. Deshaun Watson leaves. Who's left to be the face of the franchise? Toro or Jack freaking Easterby?
Every time we talk about Jack Easterby, I just picture Smithers from the from this. We'll exit him soon, and the Blitz will be right back. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
The ESPN San Antonio 10K payday. This hour's winning word is
vegetable.
Enter that word now at ESPNSA.com. Another reason it pays to listen to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day.
Great cash, homie.
A great meal starts with great meat. Rob and Jason here for Tri-County Meat Market, the best meat market in San Antonio. It's locally owned and full service. Tri-County has carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice.
Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game, from beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. Stock up on their Pick 5 for $25. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner Road, and online at tricountymeat.com. You know, in San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. Now, if your water has a bad taste or odd smell, you need to call Alamo Water Softeners. Jason Minix here. I've had a water softener in my home from Alamo Water Softeners for years. Wouldn't live without one. If you are already an Alamo Water Softeners customer, take advantage of their New Year special. Trade in or up on select systems and get up to a $400 credit. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference at alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Take your romance game to a whole new level this Valentine's with Diamonds Direct's most popular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase happening right now. You know jewelry is the perfect gift to celebrate your love. And with this incredible offer, you can afford to go big. Like a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, just $100 a month. Or a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings, just $50 a month. Diamonds Direct has teamed up with the world's top jewelry designers for an expanded selection of Valentine's surprises for any budget. Romantic gifts starting as low as $400. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, colored gemstones. The guaranteed largest selection, highest quality, and always the best value. Whether you shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Make this the most memorable Valentine's ever with 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase, including engagement rings, now through Valentine's Day. Celebrate your love at Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
This football season, more than any other, we're all reflecting on the wonder years of football. And then celebrating the heart of America's favorite sport, we've got a bold snack that'll help rekindle some really great memories. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors you crave, like Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Get them at H-E-B. Because, hey, pigskins and pigskins, they go together. Visit porkrinds.com to see how you can win $5,000 when you celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day with Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. We got Down for the Count coming around the corner to you. Dan Cialana, Brandon Medina with all your wrestling headlines. And I saw this earlier today. Remember Tim Donahue?
Oh, the ref? The gambling ref? Yeah, that dude.
He's found another career. He is now, he's made his pro wrestling debut as a crooked ref. He pleaded guilty
to say he was buying GameStop stock.
Which, by the way, did you see where Robin Hood canceled all the trends? You couldn't actually get in there. That's an interesting thing that went on in the world outside of sports that I am just amazed with. If you haven't been following the GameStop saga, there's some folks made a whole bunch of money off of basically nothing. I wish I'd
a
have been
whole lot of rich people that are very mad about it, and I don't understand. I'm glad I got a guy that handles all that kind of stuff for me. But a bunch of Reddit users, huh? All right, change the world.
At least for the time being, until the suits, the muckety mucks, got in the way and slowed down those transactions. I saw where AMC theaters were part of that as well. The idea of the wrestling ref, the dirty ref. I mean, he just fell right into it. Tim Donahue, this should have been his career from the very beginning. Dan Cialana and Brandon Medina will be doing Down for the Count a little bit after 7 o'clock, talking all things wrestling. The news of the day, of course, was Deshaun Watson. Actually, the news of the day. Let's go that route. Let's talk about something that is uplifting and get James off the ledge, because this has been rough for the Texans. We talked with Evan Kolosky. We've talked about the Spurs all day long, and lots of discussion about DeMar DeRozan and the phenomenal play, by the way, that dunk that we saw from Keldon last night. The last Keldon dunk, where he went down the lane, the seas parted, and how many of us watched that and went, this guy is getting better by the second, and there's not a lot of guys, even at his youthful level, that could have done and did what he did last night. This guy is looking not just like a serviceable NBA player. The Spurs have an all-star.
They do.
It's a matter of time. 2 years, maybe no more than 3, but he's an all-star.
Well, and you look at that and you think about that dunk, tight ball game. You're down 2. DeMar DeRozan was about a minute and a half left in the game, and zero hesitation. I mean, just go and get it. And from a young player, just to react that way, and the confidence, obviously, that he has, that's the play. You get a driving dunk like that in a game like that. Just everything that Keldon has done has been incredible. And like you said, it's hard to imagine him not being in the starting lineup when Derek White does come back. We were led to believe by Greg Popovich that it would be this weekend. I think Greg Popovich said this weekend. We'll see Friday. Said he could have played last night, so they're going to hold him off another game. On the injury report listed today, Derek White is still listed as out for tomorrow's game against the Denver Nuggets. That could change in the morning, but he's out, not probable, or any of the other terms that you generally see on that.
The Spurs get the Denver Nuggets tomorrow night. The Nuggets are hot as all get out. They have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive games. They just put the Heat to bed last night. Jokic is at an MVP level race and leading the league in assists and nearly all the triple doubles. This will be the Celtic game. I think we all kind of looked at like, it'll be a good measuring stick, but we're really going to know who we are when we play the Denver Nuggets. It feels awfully good to head against the Nuggets in a very different style, coming off with a win that was defensively oriented, that was flawed in its offensive execution, but solid down the end. The Nuggets are going to be that test because we're going to see them over and over, and I think that's going to be our measuring stick as we then get a couple of Memphis Grizzly games, a team that we're going to deal with again all the way through the playoffs. I get the feeling the next 4 to 5 days with the arrival of Derek White and the games that we see, it'll be a separator. If they lose more than half of what we see over the next week, playoffs are going to be tough. If they win and they hold those tiebreakers against the likes of the Nugs and the Grizz and the Golden State Warriors, things are going to get a whole lot easier, even though we're only a quarter away through the season.
Pledge, I don't know what you were trying to tell me in the ear.
I was just saying Derek White out for tomorrow's game, likely Saturday return.
Sure. Yeah, maybe. At some point this weekend.
Well, we had the Jeff McDonald tweet yesterday, so I know you were talking about his possible return, and it won't be tomorrow.
Spurs sit at 10-8, 7th in the Western Conference, take down the Boston Celtics last night. DeMar DeRozan paces them. The second unit led by Patty Mills, and the young kids were served. And DeJounte Murray continues to impress in a fully rounded game. The guy plays a role in every bit of this offense. And while the usage rates are fairly standard all the way across, you get the feeling that DeMar, as he plays the Spurs, win or lose, but it's DeJounte, his play keeps him in the game. If he's down, the Spurs aren't in a game, and DeMar doesn't even have an opportunity to take him home. Hey, we're excited about today. Tomorrow's going to be even better. Set your calendars. We got a football game on Saturday. One more to be had as Jason Minix and Jill Jelnick of Sports Tonight and here of Game Night San Antonio are going to be on the call of a fine high school football game. It'll be Saturday at 2 o'clock. Head over to beautiful Hero Stadium. If you haven't already got your tickets, you need to get online and get them. Last high school game of the season. Hey, we're headed toward wrestling. Say howdy to Brandon Medina and Dan Cialana. Down for the count next. We'll see you tomorrow.
Show us your meat.
Crazy.
On the grill. You could win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market if you do. Grilling with the Blitz every Thursday. If you